Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and let you know before the recording starts, we had some issues with the video, which is why instead of actual video, you're just going to see the Saints thumbnail. We wanted to re-record it because we actually recorded this a while back. We wanted to record it with like the updated training camp stuff and on StreamYard, which has been a blessing to actually fix the recording problem because this one got recorded on Discord, but due to some unfortunate, unforeseen circumstances, that just couldn't happen. So I figured I'd come on here and let you guys know ahead of time. We're not going to do the goofy, like laggy video this time around. I just sent this to a good buddy of mine who's going to edit this down. Shout out to Kenny. So just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time. That's why you're going to see the thumbnail the whole time instead of any video. I'm sorry. I know it's inconvenient. I know it's not ideal, but it's the best I could do with the time frame I had. So either way, I hope you enjoy. And because this was before I came up with my intro, or my outro, I suppose is the right word, I hope everyone watching this has a great day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever type of day it is for y'all. I hope you enjoy it because you're all wonderful. Alrighty, everybody. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Fuck, that was rough.
Take two.
All right.
Take two. Two takes.
Alrighty, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Ball Knower Podcast Team Preview Series. Today, as you can probably tell by the assortment of jerseys, we're going to be talking about the New Orleans Saints. And today, I'm joined by three very special guests. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to everybody and, do your thing.
You go ahead, Connor. Oh, you.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Connor. I've been a Saints fan my whole life. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
That's all I got. Someone else want to go? Or am I going to be the only guest?
Yeah, I was going to go last. You go ahead. You go ahead, Jason. Oh, you.
Jason.
Is he still here?
He's gone.
Jason?
There's no more Jason.
I've been a Saints fan for my entire life.
Oh, he's back. Hold on, Jason. Start
Am I
over.
here?
Oh.
Start over. Am
I not here?
You're here now.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're here now.
You're
You
good.
froze up.
Okay. My name's Jason. I've been a Saints fan for my entire life. I grew up in New Orleans. I was born right around Hurricane Katrina, so my family moved away to Washington, but I've been a Saints fan for my entire life. I love the Saints. Sleep, die, eat, all Saints. Love it.
My man's also a D1 soccer player. Got to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Got to shout my
Oh, yeah.
Forgot to
Oh, yeah.
add that.
Can't forget that. Can't
Michigan
forget
State
that.
bound.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then I'm Leyten. Maybe by chance, few you might know me on TikTok. Same username on here. WhoDatDewiit. Absolute diehard. Bleed black and gold. Been that way since I was about 6 years old. So it's when I first started liking the Saints, and since then it's taken off. And basically one of my biggest passions, man. Biggest passion I have. So here to talk about our upcoming season and what we've got going on and our off-season moves. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me too, David.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, put this together.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. This has been such a fun experience, having so many different people on that are just so passionate about their favorite teams, sitting down for like an hour, getting to talk about them. And, I've learned a lot of stuff. Like, I like to think I'm fairly well educated with football, but some of the lesser known names I've been getting to know a little bit more about thanks to some of the diehards. Like we just recorded the Bengals episode and I got completely put on to Chris Evans, who is a stud, and I just had no idea. So hopefully with the Saints episode, we'll be able to do the same thing. But I think the best place to start here, just to kind of get it out of the way, is to talk about the departure of the man, the myth, the legend, Sean Payton, who is no longer the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, unfortunately. So,
oh my God,
I'll just open the floor to you guys. You can vent your frustrations, your heartache, your pain, whatever it is you want to do.
Well, I'll be the first to say.
Yeah.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry.
No,
My
I
fault.
was going to say mine for last because I think I'm going to have a different take than you guys.
You are? Okay. Well, I will say first and foremost, man, all that we knew as Saints fans, at least for me, being 20 years old, is Sean Payton. There's freaking, you got death, taxes, and Sean Payton's coaching the Saints. You're watching Sean Payton coach the Saints on the sideline, and it
After
is
that one season
really,
we're just not going to talk about.
Okay, we can get into that later. We can get into that way later. That's a full-scale rant, bro. 10-page rant. But no, man, it's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird. And, of course, it's really disheartening watching Sean walk away, but I also respect it. The one thing I will say is if he is going to come back, the last thing I want is him to go coach somewhere else. That would break my heart. If he goes and decides he's going to want to go back and maybe coach the Cowboys, or maybe you would love it. You would love it if he went to coach the Bears, because he was a quarterback for the Bears forever ago. But he's just, everyone knows him as the Saints head coach. It's rough to see him leave, and it's going to be definitely a huge change, especially the year right after we lose Drew. That was already tough in itself.
Yeah, it came as a shock to me. Like you said, I definitely understand it. He's getting up there in age, and I don't think that he wanted to do another rebuild. But I also feel at the same time that he kind of left at an awkward time. Because I do think, I'm optimistic about the season, obviously, but I think the season would have gone a lot better if he had stayed. Most of our coaching staff stayed the same, which I think was definitely is going to be a very, very good thing for us. But I don't know. I trust Jameis Winston more with Sean Payton at the helm than anyone else.
Yep. I'd have to easily agree with that as well. It's just, man, I don't know. It's good that we did keep people like, Pete Carmichael, to have the offense so he can at least keep offensive play calling going. It's not going to be the same with Sean Payton being right there with his offensive mastermind, because everybody knows Sean Payton, one of the best offensive game planners there was as a head coach. But what I will say at least is that we did keep Dennis Allen, and we moved him up to the head coaching spot, that he can focus mainly on the defense, because he was doing a great job with the defense. But that is my number one concern. I have written down here on the little page that I put together before we got on here, that is my number one concern is Dennis Allen going to be able to take over the Saints, and fill in the shoes Sean Payton? Because it's impossible to fill in the shoes completely of what Sean Payton did, because we're talking about Sean Payton. But can he just at least do a decent job in where he strays away from what he did back in Oakland? Because
I was going to say
when he coached in Oakland, he was abysmal though. He was abysmal in Oakland.
It's Oakland. It's Oakland. We gotta keep that in mind.
True.
Sean Payton stepping down was a big hurt to the Saints, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing. Maybe not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing. I would say Drew Brees left a couple years ago. You got a new quarterback coming in. I think we needed a more offensive-minded coach, to take over at the starting helm. But Dennis Allen's not a bad replacement by any means. I think it's a new era of Saints football. We got to get used to it. We're losing all our older pieces, and it was just kind of his time to leave. Like you did say, I would be devastated if he went and coached somewhere else. But at the end of the day, he felt like it was time to hang it up.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to anything else, I do want to. I don't know if you guys heard, but I've heard a couple of insiders say that it was almost a done deal for him to go to Miami along with Brady. So initially, what it was going to be was the Dolphins were going to offer him partial ownership of the team, and then offer Brady a contract, like a 1-year contract, and then when he retired, offer Brady partial ownership of the team as well. And it didn't go through because of the Brian Flores stuff, was what I've heard.
Holy shit!
I didn't know it was anything about the Brian Flores stuff, but I will say, man, the Dolphins really do be coping, trying to make up for passing up on Drew Brees all those years ago. So, man, that's what it seems like to me, man. That's insane to be giving Sean Payton partial ownership of the team and everything, man. I'm glad that didn't go through. And I also want to say, let's not forget, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but if Drew was going to retire a year before Brady decided to go to Tampa Bay, it was going to be a done deal, and Tom Brady was going to be a Saint.
Yeah.
Drew Brees would have stepped out, and we would have gotten Tom Brady as the replacement to come into New Orleans.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
That's crazy to think about, but at the same time, man,
my dad almost started crying whenever that was a rumor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. It's like I wouldn't even know how to feel. Like, you can't hate it, but at the same time, you're just like, oh my god, you just left one top 5 quarterback all time, and now you're going to bring in arguably the greatest quarterback of all time as the replacement. That would have been really cool to see.
The two guys duking out for all the records, and they're both now. They both would have been Saints.
We both have their name in it with the Saints. Yeah, they both would have been tied in with our franchise. That would have been the coolest thing ever. But Man, dude, I'm glad that thing didn't go through with the Dolphins. I guess I'll be honest with you, because like I said, I cannot imagine him coaching anywhere else. That
Yeah.
would just hurt. And then especially what you were saying before, you were saying like it's a rebuild. Like Sean Payton didn't want to stick around for a rebuild. And now that you look at what we were able to put together, because at the start of the offseason, I was going, man, we are looking like a real middle of the road team. Yeah. This is going to be pretty mediocre this year, kind of giving me vibes of, our stint 7-9 3 years in a row. Granted, that was due to historically garbage defenses, some of the worst defenses I've ever had the displeasure of watching try and play football for the Saints. But that's how I felt going into the offseason. And since this offseason's unfolded and we're a month out from preseason, I definitely have a lot better expectations. And if Sean was, if he decided to stick around, I would almost say that the Saints would be borderline. They could be borderline contenders, pending what Jameis would come back from the ACL injury would look like.
Right. I wasn't trying to come back. I wasn't saying like we are in a rebuild. It's just, looking at where we were when he retired, like 75 mil over the cap. Weren't sure if we were going to be able to re-sign all of our cornerstones. Didn't know how the draft was going to go. If I'm not mistaken, the draft pick trade with the Eagles didn't go through until after he retired. So, like, from his perspective, I could definitely see like the writing on the wall, like in his perspective, especially if he had been questioning it for a little bit.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that as well. I don't know how close you were saying it was close though. That you think that the Dolphins were about to get Tom Brady and Sean to come into
what I've heard.
Obviously, you're not. Yeah, from what you've heard, I haven't seen it. I knew that they offered Sean a whole bunch. I heard that they offered him 4-year, $100 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were going to offer.
But I didn't. What I heard,
Brady though.
Well, what I had heard was that they wanted to explore new types of ownership for NFL teams, making coaches and NFL players more involved in the day-to-day running of the team. So that's why they were trying to give up ownership to Sean Payton and Brady. Brady's obviously wouldn't have happened until after he retired, because I'm pretty sure that there's a rule somewhere in the NFL rule book that a player's not allowed to have partial ownership of the team they play for. But I don't think there's anything barring a coach from doing that. So
back in the day, that's how it was. Back in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, when you owned a team, you were coaching it 90% of the time. Like George Halas, who's one of the best coaches of all time, and maybe that's a little bit of my Bears bias, but he owned the Bears. He was the guy who founded the team. He coached the team for like 30, 40 years. I wouldn't think there would be a rule against it, but the Brady thing is interesting. I didn't know that they were going to offer him ownership, which is kind of ironic considering Brady already kind of owns the Dolphins, but just kind of giving him what he already had.
Yeah. Benefit of the doubt to the Dolphins, he always found himself struggling in that Miami game. Going to Miami, Tom Brady struggled in the regular season, but outside of that, he owned the division in the East.
Brady kind of struggles against the Saints as well. But
oh my God, he's pitiful against us.
Oh Lord.
Usually he's pitiful.
The Bucks, yeah.
When you
I had actually made I had gone through the full schedule and tried to go game by game to predict our schedule. And I for both the Tampa Bay games, I have us winning at least one because of the record, right? Since Tom Brady's gone to Tampa, we've beat him every single time in the regular season. But I put an asterisk by the second game, because trends are meant to be broken. So that game does make me a little nervous. But it's been ridiculous the run we've had against them, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and of course, then the big game that matters the most, where we're trying to send Drew out a champion. Jared Cook decides he has no idea how to play the tight end position. I still hold a grudge against Jared Cook to this day for the divisional game in 2020.
He's a bum.
He is, bro. No. I could
What
not
happens when you
believe
have 47 kids?
Wait,
that's what happens when you're 47 playing the position.
He has so many kids. Let me Google how many kids he has, because he has a ton.
Are we talking Phillip Rivers type status here?
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know this either.
God. Well, they should be ashamed of what he did in the 2020 divisional. Absolutely ashamed.
I can't remember what player it was, but recently, I think it was Marshall. It was CD Deuce, he went on an interview and was like, I'm not going to mention any names, but we should have gone to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And he was clearly
that was totally
targeting
Jared Cook. That
Yeah,
was
no,
totally
it
a
was
Jared
totally
Cook.
targeting Jared Cook. And
Yeah.
it was just so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there bashing and saying, I'm not going to say names, but like he mentioned the fumble, and it's like, you know damn well who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He mentioned the fumble. He was like, we were about to go down. We were about to score again, and we were already up 7. And then we fumbled the ball. And I'm like, oh, my God, I love this. Like, I really don't care. He deserves all the slander in the world for that, man. Because even I remember people were saying, like, oh, you beat too hard on Jared. When we beat the Bucks down on national television on Sunday Night Football, 38-3.
Was that Halloween?
There was one bad play.
Or was that
I don't think it was on Halloween. That was that was in 2020. So it was the same year that we went to the divisional. But we were projected to lose, and everyone took the Bucks to beat us since we beat them the first time in Week 1 earlier in the season. And we go to Tampa and we stomp them 38-3. And there was one bad play in that whole game. Jared Cook's by the goal line, and he fumbled and gave it back to the Bucks. I was like, dude, you just had a score. You had like a walk-in score. What are you doing? And then go into the divisional, we play him again. Biggest moment of the game, and he fumbles. We're about to score and go up 2 possessions late in that divisional, man. I still hold that grudge to this day.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure Drew Brees didn't have the best game that game either.
Oh, no, he didn't. But the reason that game fell apart for Drew at the end was because of that fumble. It was the beginning of the downfall. Drew's not forcing any of those throws that he forced late in the game if we're not playing catch-up. And we're not putting that on. We would have been up 2 possessions. It's all about, the in-game situation. I have a real big thing with this where it's like, I hate fans who don't look at the game like at where it's at currently, and they just factor in all the black and white facts of it. They're like, oh, well, Drew Brees on the stat line had 3 interceptions. And I go, right. And he's not throwing 2 of those if Jared Cook does not fumble as we are in field goal range. You understand that? Like, that's just not happening.
No, that was the game Jameis came in through 1 pass for 56 yards, touchdown to who was it?
The beginning of
the play you stole from Chicago that we tried the week before against you and failed because Javon Wims
It was Wims. He dropped it. Yeah, he dropped it.
If it was Darnell Money with 2 O's, you would have caught it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If it was literally any other receiver on that roster, it would have been a catch. But no, Javon Wims, whose hands only work when he wants to fight C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That's the only time that man's hands have ever worked.
Yep.
Ruined the best play in Mitch Trubisky's career,
God.
and I will.
And not even that well.
Yeah, you want to talk about never forgiving somebody? Fucking hate Javon Wims. I hate that man with a passion. You ruined Mitch's day. You ruined Mitch's play. And who the fuck tries to fight somebody wearing a helmet? Who in their right mind is like, this guy's head is protected by a giant piece of plastic meant to withstand hits from 300-pound men. Yeah, let me hit him with a right hook. Fucking idiot.
To this day, that is the funniest shit because he gets smacked right upside the head. Gardner-Johnson does. The look he gives him through his helmet makes me laugh so bad every time. He smacks him hella hard and he just goes, did this dude really just hit me? Yeah,
and then he jumps
this dude really do that?
He jumps on his back. Yeah,
he jumps on him.
Yeah, and then Anthony
Miller
Miller
did the shit
ride.
I'm like, bro, what did I just watch? That's so funny. But that's Gardner-Johnson, man. He just talks mad shit.
I hope
he does.
He's so promising.
He looks promising. I just hate that, like, I know I'm not a fan of divas, but every team's usually got one diva, and our diva's definitely Gardner-Johnson. Gardner-Johnson is our diva.
I hate him.
I think David could agree that most Bears fans are not very fond of Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. I'm less fond of the guys that swung at him, though, if I'm being totally honest. Like, talking
Definitely
shit
fair.
is one thing.
Yep, definitely fair.
Don't be a dumbass and swing at him. How fucking stupid are you? And the thing that gets me, too, is like before that playoff game, because of what Wims did to him in the regular season, the Bears wide receiver coaches sat all the receivers down and were like, hey, listen, this guy's going to run his mouth. You saw what he did to Javon. Don't let him get to you. So what happens in the game? Wims punches him and Anthony Miller punches him. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Wasn't that when he called him
Idiots.
short?
No, that
Like,
was
holding his
Cohen.
hand
He
above
called
his-
That was
Cohen
Tariq
short.
Cohen.
Cohen didn't do
yeah.
anything.
That was
to him.
he called Tariq Cohen short. I didn't know about that. That was kind of sad, but I think it was
Hilarious.
That
because
was
Cohen was
mean.
barking. He was kind of barking.
Yeah,
Listen,
no,
It was
barking,
mean.
yeah.
That
but
was mean.
Cohen
Tariq
was like
is a
kind of
sweet
barking a little
man. He
bit.
does
I
not
saw him.
deserve it.
I
Tariq's
don't
a
know,
No,
good
you're not
man.
wrong, but
His
still.
story is tragic. Yeah.
In the moment, Tariq looked like he had enough, and I think he was kind of barking at our
Yeah.
secondary, and
Yeah.
Gardner Johnson was like, "Bro,
Yeah.
you're like down here. That was messed up.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was
But it was
definitely
That game
messed
was
up.
just abysmal. And then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have fucking Cordero Patterson yelling, "What the fuck?" on Nickelodeon. That was
Yes.
another
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that happened that
Legend.
game.
Legend.
That was
Absolute
actually
legend.
funny. I thought that
Yeah,
was
it was-
hysterical. And then the
That
fucking
was
walk-off touchdown with no time left that meant nothing, and Jimmy Graham just caught the ball and walked into the tunnel. That was hysterical as
that was
well.
personal.
That was
That
personal.
was Jimmy Graham's. That was his Michael Jordan moment. He's like, at that point, I took that personal.
Yeah.
Like, there was no other reason for that last second touchdown because I saw him launch that ball and Jimmy Graham one hands it, and I'm like, that was Jimmy Graham, huh? And he walks up the Saints tunnel. I'm like, that was personal.
It was.
That was
That
definitely
it was.
personal.
Mitch
I
won,
felt that one.
Nickelodeon Player of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that was the
That-
game Mitch
that
won
was-
MVP.
That's what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won MVP and they lost.
Yeah,
That was so
because it
funny.
was
Yeah.
fan voted, and Barstool Sports got everyone to vote for Mitch. It was Mitch, Akeem Hicks, Cam Jordan, and Drew Brees were the 4 nominees, and Mitch won like 60% of the votes or something crazy.
So funny. That is so funny.
That is funny. I didn't know Barstool was in on that. I just thought it was Bears fans. I honestly
It
thought it
was
was
Big
just like
Cat.
Bears fans and
It was
like
Big Cat.
NFL fans, and they were just okay. Yeah, because I thought it was just a whole troll where they're like, all right, everybody for the joke.
Yeah,
We're just going to vote Mitch Trubisky as
Yeah.
MVP. It doesn't matter if they win,
Mhm.
whatever. Everyone go on there and vote for him.
Mhm.
I thought that was hilarious.
Still the only legitimate MVP, by the way. Any other MVP is fraudulent.
Oh, yeah,
of
like
course.
I hate that they started doing it weekly. That is
Yeah.
so stupid. It should only be like the playoff games that are broadcasted
They
by
should have
Nickelodeon,
done
which is
it
usually like a
once.
singular
And
wild
when Mitch
card game.
Trubisky won it,
Yeah.
they should have been like, well, they're just going to ruin it every year. What the fuck's the point in having it? Because they're just going to vote for
Yeah, they
someone
don't take
else.
that seriously at all.
It's so funny. That makes it fun.
Mhm. Also, I just want to point out, I don't know if it's been like this for you guys, but this has been the laggiest like 15 minutes ever. Like,
Oh yeah, mine
it has
keeps
been
cutting in and out.
everywhere.
Oh, is it bad on my
Yeah.
end? I thought my end looked
You're
good.
fine. Your video's cut out a couple
Yeah.
times and your audio cut out for a second. But for the most part, you're fine and Connor's fine. It's just,
It's definitely me.
yeah. But I mean,
I
it's
haven't-
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's you. It's I don't know if we're in the same orientation, but it's you two for me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
you
sure
you
it's bad
two
on
as
my
in
end.
me or as in
No. Davis.
Okay,
and-
Jason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I said, I'm recording this on a shitty little Chromebook. I swear to God, I say this once an episode because it always comes up. I'm recording on a shitty little Chromebook that is on its last legs. Right before we recorded, I had to clear like 8 gigabytes of files to get it to even start up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Which, granted, luckily this was a hand-me-down laptop, so the stuff I had to delete were like games my sister used to have on it. Because I didn't have a laptop, but I wanted to start doing the whole podcasting thing, so I just got her old laptop. But
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
it's abysmal. I got to get real equipment. I got to get at least a real laptop that functions. So this
Yeah.
won't be an issue. But
Well, hopefully the rest of it. Hopefully the rest of it will go good.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice,
Like,
so
yeah.
I'm disappointed it got pointed out. Now I'm tripping about it, but no,
yeah,
not a big deal.
like I
good.
said,
But,
you cut out for like
honestly,
a split
the,
second while talking about something. But other than that, it hasn't been anything worse than
Oh.
what we've been having.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like I cut out like
No,
completely at one
no,
point.
no.
And I'm like, oh, that blows.
Yeah.
But never mind. Okay, so I will say for the next thing I'm just curious about is like how did we feel about the draft? Did we think that the draft went good, or do you guys think that like it was too typical? Because for me, I'll be straight up. I was finally happy with the Saints draft.
Yes.
The last
No,
3 years we drafted, I was pissed. I was
Yeah.
not happy.
No, I agree with you. I feel like now I have a little bit of personal bias. I would have preferred Garrett Wilson. I know he didn't follow us, but
Yeah, he didn't follow us.
I actually went to high school with Garrett Wilson, so that's why I'm biased.
That's
with
cool.
him.
Wow.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
and we both went to the same high school that Baker Mayfield went to. But
That's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
that is cool.
but I know I'm happy with the draft for the first time in a long time. At least for the first round, I have high hopes for both of our first round picks.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Trevor Penning. Just seeing him play in some of the camps that he was at, I didn't like him. I thought we could have gone some other direction. There was a couple good O-line on the board when we had that pick, and we kind of took, in my opinion, like the third or fourth best one.
Yeah, I'm not a Penning guy either.
I can kind of see that. I've seen a lot of people that aren't Penning guys. I obviously am hoping that you're wrong, but
fair.
I do understand it. But I was just so happy that we finally did something where it was like the fans got what they wanted finally. It was for like 3-year stint where the Saints would have a number 1 pick, and we're going, all right, we could do something good with this pick. Like, let's get something really, solid, some skill position. We always want something like get a first round skill position. And Sean Payton would dial up something on the offensive line, something on the defensive line every single time. And it just never worked out the last like 3 years, especially, Cesar Ruiz. He better not take another snap for this football team at the offensive line and position anywhere on the offensive line. He was horrible last year. The things he had our quarterbacks have to deal with in the backfield, just because of the most like unathletic missed blocks I've ever seen out of a professional, I can't, man. I can't watch Cesar Ruiz play another snap. So hopefully we don't have him out on the field next year. But yeah, I'm just glad we finally went with the skill position. So I was happy with Chris Olave, and that was my prediction too. I predicted that we would get Chris Olave with the we had the 19th pick, but when we traded up to 12 and got him, still felt cool.
We knew we were getting him.
Yeah.
Now
exactly.
my big concern, like the biggest concern I have for our current roster is left tackle. Because Trevor Penning is a right tackle. Obviously, he can flex the left tackle. Well, I'm assuming he can. We have to hope he's athletic enough to do so, but he played right tackle in college. So that left tackle is my biggest concern for the season, personally.
I would say that too. That's kind of marked at my third, and it's not even more of just a left tackle, but I'm overall worried about just the offensive line meshing all together. Is the offensive line really going to be able to be as stout as it's been in the years in the past? Because last year was probably arguably our worst year at the offensive line in a long time. And so, and it was because of guys but
I could give him kind of an asterisk for last year because of the quarterback situation.
Exactly. That's what I was also going to say.
Yeah.
Having to throw in all those different guys at quarterback, watching Trevor Siemian try and attempt to play quarterback, then you went into Taysom Hill, and it was a rough year for Saints fans.
Let's go, the legend.
Oh my God.
Don't even get me started on poor Ian Book. Oh my God.
I feel so bad for him. Bad for him.
He got thrown to the dogs.
Literally.
He got thrown to the dogs. He's just like, all right, Ian, you're going to go play the Dolphins, and we've got no offensive line to work with tonight. And that's where
wide receiver one's been out for forever.
We didn't have a wide receiver one. We didn't have a wide receiver one. Yeah. We had one game the entire season with a wide receiver to go over 100 yards receiving. One game, and it was Marquez Callaway in the game where we beat the Bucs 9-0, where we didn't even score a touchdown with a receiver going over 100 yards. Man,
he's got the dog in him. There's a reason he's got the dog in him.
That dog in him.
What happened to him? Preseason, he was going off. Some of the plays he made in preseason, I was like, dang, okay, this kid's got it. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, where'd you go? Is he on the team? Did we not pick him up after preseason?
Oh wait, who are you talking about?
Callaway.
Oh, Callaway. Yeah. No, Callaway just got locked up by every cornerback one. Yeah, it was abysmal. I mean, you would watch him get stuck on you'd think he'd be playing against Darrelle Revis or some shit, stuck on Revis Island, and it's just horrible.
He suffered from what I like to call the Juju Smith-Schuster effect, in that he can be a good receiver if he's a wide receiver number 2, and his wide receiver 1 is incredible. He has amazing hands, but but his route running is atrocious.
Yeah.
Yes, but even then, Marquez Callaway was never that guy. He was never
No.
wide receiver 2. Like
Oh,
this
no.
dude was getting plugged in at like wide receiver 4
Oh,
and is
yeah.
making plays with Drew Brees because they're busy guarding Traquan Smith and
Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders a couple years ago. So
Yep.
then he was making plays and he looked really good. But I knew right away, I'm like, man, this guy's lining up probably against the best cornerback every year because we are so down bad at wide
Yep.
receiver. And last year, I mean, that was half of my rants on TikTok after Saints games. It's like, dude, we're either 30th or worst for wide receiver room this year.
Yeah.
30th or worst. There's no argument there. We have nobody getting the
Even
ball.
the Texans had a better wide receiver room than us.
Yeah, they got Brandon Cooks. There it is.
Exactly.
End of list.
And Nico
End of list.
Collins.
It's already better.
And Nico Collins.
And Collins.
Don't
There you
forget
go.
my boy Nico
There you go.
Collins.
Won't forget your boy Nico Collins because, like I said, it was bad last year.
Yeah.
Man, watching that wide receiver room. But with that being said, there's something really important that needs to be talked about. And especially if anyone watches this that isn't a Saints fan, and it's really frustrating as a Saints fan. I don't know if you guys run into it. For me, I run into it all the time because, you know, my TikTok page is ran, and that is my main thing is just talking about Saints football. And I get comments all the time where people still hold Jameis Winston on the 30, you know, Mr. 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. He's still being held to that standard. And like,
It's ridiculous.
It was actually, because I have this pulled up in front of me, 33 for 30.
yeah,
So-
no, I knew that. I knew it was 33 for 30, but I just say, you know, it's like the ESPN joke,
Right.
30 for 30,
Technically-
so they'll call
yeah,
it
no,
30
yeah.
for 30.
He
Yeah.
technically went positive that year.
Yeah.
Technically.
Technically went positive.
Yeah, Jameis Winston's
And
a
had
good
over
quarterback.
5,000 passing yards.
Led the league in passing that year. for
Yeah.
yards.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And see,
that season, I'm pretty sure.
the problem is that I have that people still hold him to that is that they don't talk about what he did in 6 games for the Saints. In
Yeah.
6 games, the dude had us sitting at 4-2. People will say 5-2, but like he played 1 quarter versus the Bucs before he tore his ACL. So I mean, I don't know if you really want to count that or not. But
You
so he
still
played
need
6
the dub
games in 1
afterwards,
quarter.
so, I mean,
You're right. Yeah, he was still done after dancing in the locker room on a torn ACL because that's Jameis Winston.
Which is
but-
fucking hysterical.
It is. Jameis is that dude. He's so
Mhm.
funny. He's so funny.
Big old
but,
goofball.
It gets me angry though because man, look, people don't realize that Jameis Winston was on pace for 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions before he tore his ACL. 14 TDs, 3 picks. That's not the Jameis Winston that everyone wants to hold him to from like 3 years ago in 2019. The last time he had the starting job on the Buccaneers. And what really gets me going is that, dude, he was 14-3 touchdown to interceptions, throwing to Walmart employees. Bro, he's throwing to nobody. He's
Yeah.
throwing to
But-
absolutely nobody.
You
So-
also got to think this is coming from the same team that made Teddy Bridgewater look like an all-star, like an all-pro
Yes.
quarterback going 5-0. So like,
Yes.
I understand where people are coming from. I'm not the highest person on Jameis Winston. Like, of course, I want to see him succeed. I want to see the Saints succeed. But like, I don't think he's that dude. I think we do as well as he takes us this year.
I will say that I was definitely, before we extended him, I was in the camp of let's go out and get somebody that's available. But bringing him back, seeing how much work he has put in, I don't know if you've seen him, his recovery and the videos he's put. He looks yoked. Like, he looks bigger than he did last year in a good way.
Right.
He looks like he's moving. Am concerned a little bit still about how he's going to feel on the knee in a game situation. But I don't know. What I saw from him last year, and like even from him being the backup, right? Like, I think the him sitting behind Drew, even if it was not for very long, you know, him still being able to, you know, talk and be coached by Sean Payton, and him, it's going to be technically his 3rd year, not as a starter, obviously, but his 3rd year in this system, because we're keeping the same offensive system. And he's going to have a much better supporting cast this year. You know, like you said, Teddy Bridgewater, you know, was undefeated as a starting quarterback with the Saints, which, you know, possibly he shouldn't have been, from like his point of view, like as his skill level. But I don't know. I think Jameis Winston is not going to win the MVP, but I think that he's more than serviceable for the Saints to have, you know, a good run here. And I could see him being a Saint for a while. I mean, he's only 28. And if we continue to win with him, why change it? You know?
if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. I like you said, I wanted to go out and get someone. I really wanted Matt Corral, but the Panthers ended up getting him.
I wanted Baker.
Next year,
that was my one.
I did not want. Yeah, no. Like I'm so low on Baker. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I don't know. I'm from Ohio, so I live near Cleveland. So I've seen some Baker Mayfield games. He's a bum. He's serviceable. He's in the same tier as Jameis Winston, but like he's a bum. He's a Panther now. I guarantee we beat him both times, and I promise you, Panthers don't win more than 5 games.
Wow. God damn!
Wow! The Baker Mayfield slander.
Watch this video because there's going to be some beef.
Listen, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I am offended.
As am I.
I'm doing my boy dirty.
Offended over here.
And how can you disrespect the Panthers? They have the number 1 overall pick and the number 3 overall pick from that draft class.
Listen,
in their QB
they
room.
are inching closer to trading for
is?
Josh Allen every single week or every single year. They are getting the Panthers. They started out by
They're
getting
just
Sam
right for that whole
Darnold.
QB.
Yeah, they got Baker Mayfield. Next up, they're going to get a hold of Josh Rosen, and then eventually Josh Allen will fall into their laps, and the Panthers will be fine. That's their strategy.
God.
That's the thought process here.
That's their strat. That's their whole go for. Oh my God!
It's a 7,000.
I don't know.
Strategy.
I don't know. I'm not that low on Baker Mayfield. Personally, I'm actually kind of upset that the Panthers went out and got him because I would much rather play Sam Darnold.
Luckily for us,
out there, but
luckily for us, I will say that we play them week 3, so I feel like that could be a win for us because he's still going to be pretty new to the system, and maybe even like the QB situation hasn't been completely fleshed out. Actually, if the QB situation hasn't been fleshed out by that point, then I have some concerns. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. And then yeah, I hope so, man. But I look at last year when we lost to the Panthers, and that game was a fluke. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that game. We had like
kept us out of the playoffs. Yeah,
we had like no offensive line. I think we had guys out on COVID. Like it was it was a busted game to begin with, and the Panther fans thought it was the greatest showing of their life. And then they found themselves 3-0, and they finished the season 5-11 again this year.
God, I remember when they were undefeated at the beginning of the season.
It was
Didn't Sam Darnold torch us that game? Like he absolutely torched our defense. It was bad.
Yeah, he torched us, and it was such a fluky game. Like I said, like this. Jameis was running for his life every down because of how many guys we had on like COVID, and
wasn't that the game that like our whole coaching staff was out on COVID?
Yeah. Coaching staff, players, it was a whole mess.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because then they go 3-0, and you go on like Panthers Instagram, Panthers, whatever, and you're seeing the fans just going, "Why? Oh, this is our division. This is our division." I'm
Adam
like,
Gase
dude, it's 6 weeks. 6 weeks go by and they've won no games since. Oh God, bro, this is terrible, just terrible. But back to what we were saying with Jameis, though, for me, I am worried about the ACL. Can he come back? Can he be, agile and be that same guy with the torn ACL? It's a hard injury to come back from for anyone. It really is. But my optimism lies with the fact that we have such an improved roster around him. Like, oh my God. I mean, it's night and day, we're having him go from driving around the beater car, that you got a hand-me-down for a couple grand to, in my opinion, he's out here driving like a Lambo now because he's got weapons for days. He's going to have Michael Thomas come back. He's going to have Chris Olave to throw to. He's going to have Jarvis Landry to throw to. Last year, we're like, man, at least you got Kamara. Like, that was basically, it was like, you got Kamara.
And we hand the ball off and run screens every single play. Let's find out.
Exactly. So, but when Jameis was launching the ball down the field, he was connecting with these people that were just terrible. I mean, they're awful. Kenny Stills. You've got Marquez Callaway, which I know Marquez is like our best guy. I feel bad for saying that, but
Little Jordan Humphrey.
I'd argue
Little Jordan Humphrey,
our best guy last year.
Yeah, and then Traquan Smith too. He was out with injury, and then when he came back, he had a couple of decent plays. But even when he came back, he was not as impactful as he should have been, as we've seen him in the years in the past. Because he's another wide receiver where he's good when he's the third guy down.
Right.
He's not good when he's
wide receiver,
first second guy. But like I said, now he just has that whole list in front of him. I mean, I've got it right here, man. I love reading it off now. You know, Michael Thomas, Olave, Landry. Then you go down to Traquan. So Traquan's now the fourth guy, and then you could put either Deontay Hardy. That's his name now. Formerly Deontay Harris. You know, Deontay.
He took his
and then
stepfather's last name,
Callaway.
I believe.
Yeah, he took his stepfather's last
cool.
name. So you get those guys lined up at wide receiver. I mean, that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
speaking of MT, where's he at? I've seen a couple of things saying that he might still be out. His ankle's still bothering him. Like,
even if he's not good to go, even if he's not ready to go week 1, I like that supporting cast right there. Like I feel like we'll be fine.
Well, look, okay.
We could be, but he should be good to go week 1.
He should have been good to go last year, and he wasn't.
Yeah. Let me see if I can't find anything on him.
Well, no, I mean, last year, this time we knew he wasn't going to be good to go because he got the surgery in June.
No, not like beginning of last year. Sorry, I'm talking like midway through.
Saints have him classified as active on their current roster.
Yeah,
okay.
He's been
Interesting.
practicing. He's been. I've seen bits where he's actually at camp.
I see what you're saying. Dennis Allen did come out. Did come out that say that Michael Thomas's ankle is not ready yet.
Yeah,
but he's expected to be there in full capacity for training camp in late July.
I'm looking at their depth chart on ESPN, and he's listed as questionable.
Where's Alvin Kamara at? Have we heard anything on his
Las
Vegas
situation?
No, pretty sure that's going to get settled. I'm pretty sure that's going to get settled out of court.
Yeah,
that's usually how these things goes.
What are we thinking? I was going to ask that. That was going to be like my next thing that we kind of talked about was like, what do we think suspension wise?
6
are we going to get?
If they settle it out of court, I don't even think he'll get suspended.
Is Ingram still on the team?
Yes,
he is. Right?
Yes, he is. Okay. Yes, he is. Mark's still on the
team.
And then we worked out David Johnson a while ago, but didn't hear anything from that.
He said it didn't work out.
I guess that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I guess I would have to predict 6 games as well. I'm hoping for the 4. I'm hoping for the 4-game suspension.
I mean,
get him back out there. But I don't know, man. It's frustrating because I am convinced to this day that Roger Goodell hates this team.
You would love my dad because he's in the same boat. I was literally going to say that if his suspension ends up being longer than Deshaun Watson's suspension, I might just become an XFL fan. Or just like
you should.
I might just become a diehard. What is it? The New Orleans Breakers.
Yes, sir. USFL baby.
That's
that's
right. Aren't you a Breakers fan too?
I was.
Yeah.
I was, and then I found out they don't use fullbacks, so now I'm a. Who was that was using a fullback? There was some fullback that made a big play in like the divisional game or like the second to last playoff game, and I said I was going to start cheering for them, but I don't remember what team it was.
I love your stand for fullbacks.
Hey, listen,
David.
Somebody's got to do it.
I follow it all the time.
I'm sorry, but we don't have an active one on the roster right now.
That's not true.
Yes, you do.
True,
yes, you do. You have Adam Prentice.
We
Put some respect on my man, Adam Prentice.
Okay. You can't. You beat me to it. I had it.
I'm sorry.
I
was looking at the ESPN's projected 53-man roster. They had him not making the team. Projected. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, ESPN, they can suck a fat one because he's going to make the roster.
Wow.
Adam Prentice is. Yeah. I'm throwing shade at ESPN. I don't care. You don't disrespect fullbacks like that. Adam Prentice is actually a stud. He's actually a stud.
You know what, though? The thing is we might not even have him on the roster only because the first thing I think of is Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman is useful for one thing only, and that's blocking. He's a great blocker.
Yeah.
He is a terrible playmaker at tight end. Absolute horrendous playmaker.
I mean, Taysom Hill's for.
That's what I'm saying. I always forget Taysom Hill. We're going to plug Taysom Hill. I get so scared. I'll think about our roster, and I'm like, oh, my God, the tight ends. We don't have a tight end. And then I remember we're just going to plug Taysom Hill there.
Especially us being a historically good tight end team.
Yeah.
Well, relatively, what's it called? I mean, it's hard after we lost Jimmy Graham because the names after that are kind of weird to me. Like at one point we were throwing to Kobe Fleener, and I'm like, wow,
Jared Cook.
I was just more referring to the heydays of going from Jeremy Shockey to Jimmy Graham. But
I forgot Jeremy Shockey was even a Saint.
Okay, my fault. We're talking about like the old glory days. We went from Jeremy Shockey catching a touchdown in the Super Bowl to then we got primetime Jimmy Graham, which There's no better Jimmy Graham than Saints Jimmy Graham, and you're not going to tell me otherwise.
Agreed.
No,
And
there's no way.
as bad as he was in that last game he played, Jared Cook was a serviceable, and he was a good tight end for us that season.
Jared Cook. Or excuse me, Jared Cook. Why did I just say that dude's name? Oh my God. Sorry. Freaking Jimmy Graham. To this day, that is on him. That is on him for leaving New Orleans.
No,
he wanted more money. And I hate that he came out and was like, man, my biggest regret is like I didn't stick around and play with Drew. And we could have been something even more special and legendary. And I'm like, and whose decision was that? Why are you bitching about it? Like, you're the one that was like, I need more money. And we're like, that's tough. We get it. You're really good, but we're trying to build a Super Bowl team, for our future Hall of Fame quarterback.
Listen. He's one of the better tight ends of the 2010s. You got to let him get his bag. He deserved his bag.
Okay, but then after he left the Saints, how did it go?
I mean, he played awful, but he got his bag. He got his bag.
He was ahead of his time. He did
get his bag, but he gave up playing in a Sean Payton offense where he never flourished again.
You're not wrong, but
ever again.
I mean, he's still like a Hall of Fame tight end. I don't think it matters too much.
No, yeah.
I guess he is going to still make the Hall of Fame, but I mean,
it's not going to be first ballot. It's going to be
but he'll make it.
It's going to be
it'll be way after.
Yeah, but he'll still get in.
And
it's like nowadays when you're watching the Hall of Fame induction. Yeah, it's like nowadays when you're watching the Hall of Fame induction and some guy from like the 60s will pop up and you're like, who the hell are you?
Yeah,
Jimmy Graham's going to get into the year 2050.
I'm going to Google this. Yeah, and you Google it. No, but he's going to get in, and that's going to be hugely because of the product that he was in New Orleans.
It'll be entirely because of what he was in New Orleans.
Seasons. There you go.
No,
Thank you.
Yeah, he wasn't god-awful or anything, but he wasn't a goddamn Hall of Fame caliber tight end once he left the Saints.
His first destination was extremely rough.
It was rough.
Seahawks fans thought they got the steal, and at the end of the day, we won the freaking trade by taking a center.
Max Unger.
Oh yeah,
loved Max Unger.
Good for us for a while.
I remember the day that trade happened.
Yeah, me too. I was upset about it, and then look back at it, I'm like, oh well, never mind. That's okay.
Him and Marcus Colston would trade top receiver for the Saints for a few years. There.
Oh yeah.
Just looking at the stats right now.
Oh yeah. White Storm.
I missed that name.
That's a name, yeah.
He's being inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame this season.
I saw that today. Yep.
For him.
So that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, because he'll never make the real one.
Saints Hall of Fame and everything. You know what? If Julian Edelman makes it, I say that Marcus Colston should.
Edelman's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. They're not going to put Edelman in.
To me, that's lame. Like, even Patriots fans are like, oh, but because look at his story. Look at Julian Edelman's story. I'm like, okay, if we're going to look at his story, we're going to look at Colston's story because Colston beats him statistically in like everything. And then they go, oh yeah, but what about the playoff games? And I'm like, hey man,
if we're going off a story, what about Joe Horn?
Joe Horn.
Going off a story, why not Joe Horn?
Right. Yeah, Joe Horn, love Joe Horn.
Legend, absolute legend. Love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like I hate where it's like, oh, we're going to consider him a Hall of Famer because of the story and because he made the playoffs a bunch of times and won Super Bowls with Tom Brady. I'm like, okay, but statistically, we look at Marcus Colston and his numbers blow out Julian Edelman's. So why are we not talking about that? They're like, oh, well, it's because he won one Super Bowl. That's it. It's like, okay, well, here we go. We're talking about rings, falling into ring equals Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Edelman doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but he deserves to be enshrined in there in some way. I think he has a pair of gloves in there from the Super Bowl catch against the Falcons.
Super Bowl 51.
That should be the extent of Edelman being in the Hall of Fame. Those gloves deserve to be in there, and he should be enshrined, but not him for his career. That game, that play, absolutely.
I agree.
But you can't just start tossing.
You got to give him some credit for the downfall of the Dirty Birds. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, listen. Yeah, I love Julian Edelman. Growing up as a Bears fan, obviously, I haven't had a lot of playoff enjoyment. So me and my dad we'd watch every Patriots playoff game because me and my dad are big Belichick and Brady fans. And Edelman is that guy. He made a ton of great plays in the playoffs, but you can't put a guy in the Hall of Fame just because he made some plays in the playoffs. You can't do it.
Exactly.
He doesn't have the regular season success.
No.
Just doesn't work like
he
that.
does not. And that was my point as well. That was my point as well. is, I mean, you have to have the regular season success.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be, oh, well, I made a bunch of plays in the playoffs. It's like, okay, cool. Well,
yeah, then you can
maybe
put
if they had a playoff Hall of
oh my God, what's his
but-
name? I was going to say, if you want to go off that, there's a corner that you could have put in the Hall of Fame, and I can't remember his name for the life of me. But he had he played, this is like 70s, 80s. He had like picks and back-to-back Super Bowls, and then left the team he was with to go to another team and got like a big contract because they thought he was going to be like a number one corner, and he sucked. I think he played for the Raiders. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I can't even think of who that would be possibly. But
another guy.
Yeah.
Since we're talking Saints, it's like me arguing Tracy Porter's a Hall of Famer, and
True,
Tracy Porter
that's
is
another example.
for sure not a Hall of Famer, but
No,
obviously cemented us as champions without a shadow of a doubt.
Tracy
in our
Porter,
postseason
Chicago
run
Bears
in 2009, 2010.
Love Tracy
Yes.
Porter. He played like
Yes.
a whole
Uh-huh.
2 years maybe in Chicago, if that. As like
Yeah.
our sixth
That's
corner.
where I thought that's where Tracy ended his career
Yeah,
too. I think he
it
ended
was.
his career with you guys.
It was.
If I remember right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was when I
Yeah.
was little. That was when I first got into football. That was when Tracy was with Chicago. But I want to circle back. First of all, the conversation here has been fantastic. There has been like no dull period whatsoever. But I want to circle back because we kind of like glanced over the draft class. We brought up that most of us aren't really Trevor Penning guys, and Chris Olave is that dude. I feel like we don't have to talk about him a whole lot. But I'm with Connor.
Right.
I don't know how Penning is going to make that transition to left tackle. Something I'm very concerned about with him. He's just so slow and so handsy. He's a walking flag. That's kind of like you guys said a little bit earlier. The offensive line, I have so many damn concerns about with this team, and Penning is like the biggest part of it. What's the offensive lineman you were like ready to crucify earlier? Was it Ruiz? Is that the one that's just gone off?
Ruiz. Cesar Ruiz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and Penning.
Absolutely. He was our former first rounder 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get him and shit. What's the center's name? McCoy. Ruiz and McCoy. They flip flop in my head for some reason. But Ruiz.
Oh god, McCoy's great though. Don't get it mixed.
Yeah, please do not go to a mix.
I get
it mixed.
I know one is really good and one is dog water. I just get the names flip flop every once in a while. Listen, you got to realize when I'm doing these previews, I'm watching 32 different teams, trying to memorize every single damn player, and even with having the ESPN roster in front of me,
that's fine. No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
My point
You're good. You're all good. We're just giving you a hard time because it's funny.
I know.
The two are very different.
But my point is, this offensive line, I think.
Speaking of the draft cloud.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to say I have a lot of concerns with the offensive line.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say offensive line bad. I'm worried about it.
What is? Yeah, no, it's pretty atrocious. But what's our opinion on Alontae Taylor here?
Just real quick. Okay, before we go into the offensive line, I like Alontae Taylor. It's a good pick. My only concern is well, I guess it's not a concern because it's great to be depthy at cornerback position. But I mean, like, you go down the list and I don't know how much playing time he's going to get when you have everyone else. Marshawn Lattimore, Gardner Johnson. You've got our rookie Paulson DeChambeau from last year who looked like a great cornerback. And we still have PJ Williams. And I don't know. It's set on the Saints roster. He's still on it. And for whatever reason, I thought I had some moment where I thought we got rid of Roby.
He's listed.
But I guess we still have
ESPN.
Roby.
We didn't. He's
still on the team. Okay, so then you still even have Roby, and then it goes Alontae Taylor. That's a fantastic cornerback room, in my opinion. Really great looking cornerback room. I just don't know if he's going to be able to outplay all those guys. I hope he does. And then we're really depthy at cornerback, and we got another stud.
Well, I mean, Darius, what's his face? The former corner for the Colts and the Patriots.
Darius who?
Darius Slay.
Anyways, former corner for the Colts and the
Patriots. You said.
Yeah. He has a quote saying like he believes that in today's NFL, a good defense needs to have at least 9 like serviceable corners or defensive backs in total, like starting caliber defensive backs in order to be successful.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
I'm more than happy to continue drafting corners as long as Dennis Allen needs them. Like, I would much rather be safe than sorry. I don't want one of our, guys we're spending a bunch of money on go down, and then all of a sudden our defense, it goes straight to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So I love the pick. We've had really good we have a really good track record with Tennessee players. And
cornerbacks.
And cornerbacks in general. So I love the pick personally.
Yeah. No, I would second that. I'm going to second that as well. Like I said, it's great to have a depthy cornerback room, and I think that's exactly what we have. It does suck that we lost Marcus Williams, I guess, but it's fine since we picked up Tyrann Mathieu, and we also got Marcus May. So both those guys are going to be just fine for the safety position. I like everything about our defense.
You didn't mention the other safety we got.
Oh, from
Sorensen?
Daniel
Sorensen?
Yeah, well, hey, he's going to be...
That's a linebacker. That's not it. I refuse to believe he's...
We don't even...
That's a...
What's the beef?
Free agent is what he should be.
What's the beef with Sorensen?
He
Darius
sucks.
Butler was the
Have you ever
corner
seen him play? Have you ever seen Sorensen play?
Yes. I watched him. I watched Sorensen play last year with the Chiefs, and there was times where Tyrann Mathieu was lit. Oh, poor Tyrann Mathieu. Oh my God, Sorensen followed him there. He hated him last year. There was plays where he blew coverage, and you see Mathieu just like, dude, what are you doing? And he just followed him into New Orleans.
He just sucks.
That sucks.
Sorensen has just got awful. He can't tackle. He can't cover. Can't play zone. Low football IQ. He's slow.
Yeah.
He has no redeeming qualities.
He's gotten a few explosive turnovers, from what I remember with the Chiefs.
He's going to be
anyone in the right place at the right time.
Fantastic special teams player. He's going to be a fantastic special teams guy.
Yep, I agree. Maybe he'll be blocking punts or something. We need another guy out there blocking punts. Hopefully, he can get that done for us. If not,
when we got Sorensen, we got the wrong Chief safety. I was so like,
we got the other one too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got both.
Yeah, but
like I said, now I feel terrible.
This is not the right one.
Poor Tyrann.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Looking at this secondary.
Someone brought him up. Marcus May.
Yeah, Marcus May's a stud.
As soon as Marcus May, he was really good before he got injured, and even afterwards, he was doing really well. So that was a good pickup for us. It just added to our depth in the secondary.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. We usually take the good Jets players to Mario Davis, so I hope that pans out all the same.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the offensive line. Are you trying to get back to that?
No,
Sorry.
I wanted to talk about the secondary for a second. I wanted to make a point with the secondary.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like it's like, Discord when you're talking, you get like a little green ring around your text box or your video box.
Yeah.
Mine is not popping up like 70% of the time. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're good. I can hear you fine right now when you're talking, but I got concerned later on, earlier, because I saw where it looked like I saw your lips were moving and there was no sound. And I was like, man, I hope he is not trying to talk right now.
Listen,
but I think you're good now.
Okay, it's fine. If that was the case, it was probably an offhand comment, and my audio is coming through my headset anyway, so it'll pick up on the podcast, but you guys just won't hear it. If that was the case.
Right.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, with this secondary, you said it was Darius Butler that it was that quote, right? You want to have 9 DBs? Yeah. Okay. That is beyond true in today's NFL. I think that is one of the most factual statements I have ever heard about today's NFL and the way DBs work, because there's so many packages that you're going to run nowadays with 4, 5, 6 DBs on the field because of how heavy of a passing league it is. And having all of these guys that are able to go out there and play a role, and you don't have to worry about trying to hide them or worry about them giving up a play or anything like that. That's huge. And on top of that, when it comes to the corners specifically, Gardner Johnson and PJ Williams also have a bit of versatility to them to where they can kick out to safety. So I wouldn't be worried whatsoever about Alontae Taylor not getting PT.
We drafted. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we drafted CJ as a safety.
Yeah,
originally.
In fact, CJ can come up and play. He can play in the box a little bit. Mm-hmm. So,
CJ used to line up in the slot. He used to be the slot dude for a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
he would line up in the slot.
I wouldn't be worried about Taylor not getting PT
better
at
playing
all.
Corner.
Yeah, well, either way.
I'm not. I don't know. I think he will, especially if he develops really well. He's going to get playing time, and then especially if I don't see Paulson Adebo make that second-year transition where he really starts to solidify himself as a starter. Because I had to give him some slack last year as a rookie because he made some fantastic plays at cornerback, but then he also made some he made some real rookie plays at cornerback
Well, it's
as well.
gonna happen.
Where, I mean, he was just blowing coverage completely, and it happens. I mean, that's all part of defense. That's part of football.
Right.
That's going to happen.
Right.
But it's about seeing second year. Are we going to see less of that? Are we going to actually see where you're really starting to lock them down a lot better than what we saw your rookie year? Because we can't have those kind of ticky-tacky, blown coverage plays happening all the time. Those are going to kill us.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if he doesn't develop like that, then we could especially lean on Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree.
Where are we placing our secondary ranking wise? Like
I just look at
I'm
the
pretty
defense,
confident
bro.
Four.
The defensive overall, I think this defense could easily
Look
be
at the
top
defense.
7 in the league.
We got Cam Jordan, dog. David
Yep.
Onyemata, dog.
Dog.
Shai Tuttle, dog.
Dog. Yup.
Marcus Davenport, hopefully it's getting to
If
dog.
he's healthy, dog.
Yep. Pete Warner,
Dog.
actually dog.
Dog.
Demario
Straight
Davis,
dog.
dog.
Dog. Absolute dog.
Also Debo, dog. Marcus May, dog. Tyrann
Marshawn
Matthew, dog.
Lattimore.
Dog. CJG, dog.
Listen,
Absolutely. Those are all dogs on the defense.
Pete Werner is the definition of having that dog in him. I am fucking obsessed
Oh
with
my
Pete
god,
Werner.
yes.
I saw your video
yeah,
on that.
I might be the biggest non-Saints/Ohio State Pete Werner fan. I was, like you said, I made a video. I've broke down like a breakout player at each position. I try not to double up on teams. And for linebacker, I was having a hell of a time trying to find somebody. And I think I tweeted something out and somebody was like, watch this Pete Werner kid. Or I made a TikTok or something. And somebody told me to watch Pete Werner. In the first play I saw, it was some crazy tackle on Saquon Barkley. I can't remember exactly what he did, but it was either he tracked him, he was playing like in the middle and he tracked him to the sideline and like popped him or like flipped him or something, but it was just a high motor, high intensity, high IQ play, and I was hooked instantly. And you're watching the kid, he hits his gaps perfectly. He can read the defense so well, especially for a rookie. I was really, really impressed with how well he could read offenses. And the fact that he's learning under Demario Davis, like that's his mentor.
So I was about to say.
Holy
That's part of
shit.
it.
Like the only thing
Yeah,
I'm worried
yeah.
about with him is his coverage. And I tend to
Yeah.
lean that coverage is something that you can learn. Like if you're
Yeah.
a linebacker and you can defend the run well, you can learn how to be decent in coverage. Because coverage is just knowing
Yeah.
your zone and being able to read what receivers or tight ends or running backs are doing. And Pete Werner is a smart
You
kid.
can learn it.
hmm
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
definitely learn it, but in order to become part of that upper echelon, you need to have that natural feel. And if you don't
Yeah,
have it,
yeah.
you're never going to get it.
But he doesn't need it.
I do think that. Right.
He's a
I
run
think he can make up
stuffing
for it
demon.
with his athleticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he is the definition. Like I said, he's a definition of having that dog in him. High motor, high intensity,
Yep.
high IQ. He is like the perfect linebacker. Apart from
Mhm.
not having that sixth sense, so to speak, in coverage, which, like I said, he does not need. He's going to be primarily a run defender. He's fucking.
But for the life of me,
perfect.
can you please change your number?
I like it. I
What?
kind of like it.
20.
being 20.
I hate
Oh,
the
being
I
number.
like it
20.
because he's a smaller
Like,
linebacker.
I
Yeah,
am
no,
more
I
than
don't like
okay
it either.
with the number rule. Like I kind of like what we're seeing, right? Like we're seeing more college numbers in the NFL, and I kind of like that. But I've always had an issue with him being like number 20. Like it feels like he was like a Mr. Irrelevant that came into the team and was just thrown a jersey that was left. Like that's what it feels
Yeah.
like
That
to
was
me.
his college number.
Yeah.
That's what he just kept his
I
college
know,
number.
Yeah.
I know. But still.
I respect. I get it. Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, that linebacker spot being 20, I also don't like it. That, and if I see him below any coverage plays at the linebacker spot wearing jersey 20, I'm just going to be like, oh, cool. It's the second coming of Ken Crawley. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah,
And he gets absolutely
I'm-
fed up, but no, that's okay.
I will say
I
his,
like the college
oh,
numbers only for like the single digit receivers. I think that's the best one to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best fit ones.
Yeah, I like it as long as we're not seeing like corners and DBs and running backs wearing numbers in the teens. I have a big problem with that, but otherwise, I mean,
Oh,
I
he's
don't-
not gonna
I don't think
like
it's
Mark
an
Ingram
issue.
then.
Yeah, I hated that. That's gross.
Mark Ingram wearing 14.
Yeah, that's gross.
I just- didn't like it because I mean I got my Mark Ingram 22 jersey. I'm still gonna rock the Mark Ingram 22 jersey. I'm not gonna go and get Mark Ingram in 14. That looks pretty weird.
I kind of liked it. I like. Obviously, I wish he was back in 22, but I kind of like the they were thunder and lightning him and Kamara, so him being 14 and him being 41. Like I kind of like that. I don't know.
I forgot that that is why they did that. Isn't that why they did that? I forgot about that. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more understandable. I just wish Mark could get back to that old form that he had. What was that? Now 4 or 5 years ago when it was just it was boom and zoom.
Boom
I remember. I think Kamara was the best thing that happened to him because I remember when he was the sole running back, like he was RB1 and there was no competition. Like he struggled his first few years in the NFL.
Yeah.
He had issues with the turf, I believe is what he said in an interview. Like he couldn't get good traction in the AstroTurf fields. Like and if you looked at his stats, he would be good and on the field, like the actual grass fields, but any game on the turf he would struggle.
He would struggle. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that as well. So I agree. I think Kamara was the best thing that could have happened to Ingram. So it was sad to see him leave and everything, but it's cool. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah.
It is a little worrying if we only have Mark in the backfield for however long the Kamara
older Mark
suspension
is concerning. Yeah,
because your running back depth after him is abysmal.
Oh yeah, you want to take a look at this? You want to look at the
Tony Jones Jr. and Wayne Washington.
You got Dwayne Washington.
Don't forget we do
Bozingo or whatever.
Devin Zingabo. Yeah, sure. And then
I didn't know he was.
And
there.
then we also have Abram Smith out of Baylor. He was a rookie, undrafted free agent.
Interesting.
Wondering what happened to David Johnson.
That's why
I'd take David Johnson.
Listen, David Johnson's got to be abysmal right now if he's failing to work out with this team, with this running back room.
Dude, man,
he's got to be washed.
Let's not forget.
Maybe it was a maybe it was a numbers thing though.
Did we say Tony Jones? We still have Tony Jones.
Yeah, I said Tony
Jones.
We do
have Tony Jones Jr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony Jones was okay.
And
Tony
worst
Jones
case scenario, we can stick
Adam Prentice.
We can
at running back.
Taysom Hill at running back.
Fuck Taysom Hill.
Oh my god, I can't
Taysom
believe
Hill.
that.
Adam Prentice season all day.
Hey, Taysom Hill can be a fullback too. You know that he's played multiple times.
Taysom Hill definitely can be a fullback.
He's a poser.
Oh,
dude, let's not forget that Taysom Hill is 6'2", 230 pounds, and can run faster than Alvin Kamara in a 40-yard dash. Okay.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. I always forget that. That is wild. So at least we do got a freaking fast tight end, man. I keep forgetting, man. I cannot watch Adam Troutman take tight end one snaps anymore. I think he was my number between him and Cesar Ruiz. It was hard, but I found myself getting so mad at Adam Troutman all of last year. I'm just yelling at my TV like, dude, like, what are we doing out here? He was just a drive killer, man. He would kill drives.
Then you would see him pancake a D end for Alvin Kamara, and you're like, oh, okay, this is why we have him.
Right, for blocking. But it was just like you ask him to be a playmaking tight end, and it was abysmal. And even when Jameis Winston was healthy for 6 games, him and Juwan Johnson had a connection in the end zone. I don't know what it was, but him and Juwan Johnson were making connections, scoring touchdowns, and Adam Troutman's just existing. Like at least he would be pass blocking, or run blocking. But other than that, man, he just did not serve that tight end spot we thought he would. Right. Yep. He's on TikTok. I forget about that. Yeah. You go ahead.
Just going back to the running backs for 1 second. Oh,
okay. No, go ahead. I can wait. Go for it.
Just going back to the running backs for 1 second with Trevor Penning, the pick that I wanted us to take, and I know maybe it's just the Michigan State in me because I'm a Michigan State fan going to Michigan State, but like I was like, damn, we're missing it, bro. I guarantee Kenneth Walker is going to be a dog in the NFL.
Oh, he's going to be. He's absolutely going to be.
Yeah. He is. He definitely is. But I don't know. I felt like this is definitely a league where you need if let's put it to you this way: if you don't have one of the running back guys, like one of the young running back guys, you're gonna want to have multiple because they're gonna get injured. It's not like the old NFL. I mean,
No.
even in the old NFL, they would get injured, but you would take that risk because they were such a big part of your offense. They're definitely still a massive part of the offense, but I don't know. I think that we needed to go O-line. Maybe we didn't go with the best O-line option, but I mean, we had to do something. I guess
I
is
was
the
about to
best way
say,
put it.
the best way to put it is at least we went somewhere that was needed rather than where we're used to the Saints in the first round going somewhere that they didn't need to go completely, and they're drafting a position hoping
Peyton Turner.
that it works out. Okay, Peyton Turner was abysmal, right? And then he got hurt. I'm hearing that Peyton Turner is on pace or not on pace, but he's looking to be able to have that breakout year in his second year because he, before the explosive and was making play. I'll believe it when I see it personally.
Let me
and I'm
put
not
it to you
worried
this
about
way.
it because we
Let
have
me
a
put
lot
it
of
to you this
defensive
way.
linemen. But hey, I'm trying to keep optimism for him. But yeah, it was a shitty first round pick.
Let me put
horrible.
it to you
I was
this way.
pissed.
Last season, because COVID and I wasn't working or anything because of COVID, I sat down and I looked at a shit ton of film. I studied the rookie class and I really got involved in the early draft process and then the draft process. When they called his name, I had no fucking idea who this guy was. Like, he wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even look at him.
Damn.
Like, maybe I heard him in passing, maybe being like a third round guy, but I had not heard anything about him whatsoever.
Oh, fucking funny. Yeah, I did the same thing. I was anticipating I don't remember who I was anticipating, but what I do remember was we had Peyton Turner. What was... Oh my God. No, never mind. I'm thinking of the Cesar Ruiz draft for Justin Jefferson. I forgot who I was anticipating, but it was another year where I'm like, let's maybe go skill position. Let's just get a skill guy in the first round. And I'm anticipating, I forgot what name I was anticipating. It doesn't matter at this point, but I just hear Peyton Turner and I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, you're trolling, right? You didn't actually just say that name in the first round. And
Mickey Loomis is a god. He is a literal saint.
Yes.
He is one of the smartest GMs in the league. But God, he cannot draft in the first round. He can do late round draft picks. Late round draft picks, he's fantastic at. But first round, he shits the bed entirely.
With the exception of the 2017 class, where the Saints won the entire draft and drafted Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk, Ramczyk is now our best offensive line player heading into the season. Those two guys in the first round were great. And in that same draft, you get Alvin Kamara. And then I think in that same draft was when we drafted David Onyemata as well. We just had a whole bunch of studs come out of that draft. So,
no, you're right. You're right. But historically, he's bad in the first round. He can do fantastic in the late round, but first round, nah.
After 2017, it's been rough.
Yeah.
Now
But
this roster I'm looking at right now
wasn't bad.
Yeah, this roster I'm looking at right now does have Trevor Penning at left tackle and Ryan Ramczyk staying at right tackle.
You have to.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't do that to Ramczyk this late in his career.
Yeah,
this late, and I mean, he's the best guy on our offensive
right. You
line
can't
now
be playing him out of position.
And that is the concern because Armstead left the building. If we had Armstead right now, I'd be like, oh my God. All it comes down to is can Dennis Allen coach, and we're going to be solid.
Well, you wouldn't have drafted Penning if Armstead was still there.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, we wouldn't have drafted
Penning.
Wouldn't have
to
that's what I'm saying. If we were able to retain him.
We wouldn't, and I don't think we would have made that trade. Let me see.
What trade?
I don't know. You still could have made that trade and ended up with one of the better interior linemen.
I guess.
Up with Zion.
I guess.
Linderbaum ended up with someone like that.
Yeah. I guess we could have drafted a Cesar Ruiz replacement at some point.
Yeah.
Well, Teron Armstead was waiting to see if we got Deshaun Watson. That's what he was waiting on. That's what reports say. So I'm kind of glad.
Oh man.
In the scheme of things,
I'm so glad we dodged that bullet.
Oh, dude,
yes,
I know.
Too.
That was such a fever dream, man. I remember waking up because I wasn't even home. I was at my buddy's in Illinois. He moved to Illinois, and I was over there. And all of a sudden, I'm going on Saints Instagram, seeing that we're like in the lead for Deshaun Watson. All of a sudden, and I'm going, "There's no fucking way. We're not going to bring in Deshaun." Like, I don't even know what his cases are. I don't know what's going on.
But my thing is, like, what capital could we have given? Like, I get that the Browns' first-round draft picks probably won't be the best. Like, maybe this next season's will be, but after that, assuming he doesn't get, kicked out of the league or whatever. But I didn't see what we could have offered, and then what kind of contract we could have given him. Because Mickey Loomis, while being a fantastic cap wizard, I don't think we could have afforded that 230.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh,
contract
God,
that he ended up getting.
He wanted to come to New Orleans. He would have had to come there for less money and understand that he's going to have a lot more surrounding him.
Mhm.
I mean, he went and decided to take Cleveland's, entire vault of money, and the offense he gets to play with is mid. The backfield is great. Weapon-wise, though, it's like you could have came over and played with Kamara and Michael Thomas.
He has Amari Cooper in a
better.
marginally better offensive line. Marginally
Amari
better.
Cooper. Marginally better, but younger.
I forget that they got Amari Cooper. And again,
But you
like,
still have,
I don't know if Amari Cooper's going to flourish in
I mean,
Cleveland.
if he had
Donovan
Watson, he
Peoples
would.
Jones as well.
If he
Yeah,
had
If he had
Watson
Watson, I
throwing the
guess he
ball.
would. But at the same time, it's hard to envision, man. I've seen too many good receivers go to Cleveland and go to waste.
Okay, but
we
you
also
haven't
have to
seen
remember that
Landry.
the football gods. We also have to remember that the football gods are just going to forever curse that team, especially
Fair.
now. So no matter how good that I'm foreseeing, no matter how good that roster is, there's always going to be something that fucks up, and then their seasons just goes to shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
I mean, that is Browns football.
Receivers have failed in Cleveland, but Cleveland has literally never had a quarterback as talented as Watson. So it's kind of hard to take precedent into account with that.
And he might not even play.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
my
no,
problem.
absolutely. I'm just saying
Cleveland to get their best.
Cleveland knew this. Cleveland knew it going into it. That's why his first year is only $1 million, and all the money kicks in after that.
Yeah, he's only supposed to. I think I know what we were going to say here in a second. Or actually, you know what? Just go ahead. Sorry.
The most
I'm
recent
talking about my
report
ass.
I saw is seeing, or that I've seen, is him not getting suspended at all. And I was like,
not at all. I saw 4 to 6. That was the last report I saw today.
4 to 6, but
yeah, no, I've seen that. But then 2 days ago, I had seen something. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that some insider knowledge was saying that he wasn't getting suspended, and I'm like, I'm sitting there. That there's no way. There's no way.
If he doesn't get suspended at all, the NFL is going to get fucked.
24 have gotten cleared up.
Yep.
22 of his
But he
cases
still has
have gotten
2.
cleared up, and yeah, there's still 2, but like he deserves.
I thought
to
only
get,
20 got
suspended.
I thought he still had the 4.
No, it's 22 now. From my
so he only has 2 left.
Two are still fighting,
left.
including the original one. The first lady to come
Oh,
forward.
They're
fighting.
not going to back down. Oh,
no. Oh no.
They're
No.
OGs.
They've come this far.
Oh no way.
They've come this far. They're getting their day in court. Like there's no doubt about it.
See, that's my problem. For the Browns to get the best quarterback that they've arguably ever had, no, that's not even arguable. This would be the best quarterback the Browns would ever have. They had to take a guy with 24 sexual assault allegations. That's sad to me. Like, that is the most Cleveland Browns thing I have ever heard in my life.
Break out the jersey with the scroll of quarterback names that you're going to keep adding to it now. I mean,
exactly. I mean, the Browns are this desperate. I mean, let's be real here. Do you guys remember when Drew signed his final contract with the Saints? We signed him to, like, I think it was 2 years, $50 million. I think 2 or 3 years, something like that. Nothing absolutely, astronomical, breaking the bank for Drew, because that's who Drew was, and he wanted to build a team in New Orleans in his final years there. He declined an offer from the Cleveland Browns because he wanted to stay in New Orleans. They offered him $100 million
Good Lord.
for a old Drew Brees to go play with them. I'm like, dude, that is the most Cleveland Browns thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. No way you're that desperate. But it makes sense.
This all together, we do play them in week.
Yeah,
week 16.
Oh God, Deshaun will be playing by then. That sucks.
Not necessarily.
While we're on the conversation of Browns QBs, you've been saying how they're kind of below average. I want to say that they ruin careers. My uncle played for the Browns recently, Deshaun Kaiser. He
holy shit!
They ruined his career.
That's
cool.
He's cool. You're related to him.
Yeah, they did.
He's my cousin by marriage, and he's just. They ruined his career, and then they ruined Baker's. Even though I'm not high on Baker, I said that at the beginning, but
get him dirty.
They're not a good quarterback destination, and there's a reason for that.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Definitely.
Cleveland is what the media wants you to believe the Bears are. when it comes to quarterbacks.
They also
They are.
ruined Jake Delhomme's career. Just by the way, just bringing that back.
The only difference with the Bears is that they don't like ruin quarterback careers. They just don't make quarterback careers. No offense, like you just never had that guy.
That's not true.
Like, has been created in Chicago.
Listen, Chicago has had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I don't want to hear this bullshit. They've had 2. Neither of them played in the Super Bowl era. Neither of them played in the Super Bowl era. But 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. What the fuck are you talking about? They absolutely do count. No.
They do make really good cornhole players.
That they do. But listen, no, we are not having this slander of old players on my podcast. That's not happening. Old NFL players deserve their respect.
Oh no, they do deserve their respect. But in the Super Bowl era, you've never had a quarterback. You've never had a good quarterback. I mean,
we've had good quarterbacks.
You hopefully have one now.
Yeah,
I think you have one now.
Listen, we've had good quarterbacks. We just haven't had elite quarterbacks. They're not going to ruin Fields. Don't get me started on that. I'll be here for the next fucking 2 hours over that.
Who would you consider is the best quarterback? Because you know what I think, which is the saddest thing of all time. I think one of the most electric quarterbacks you had was the most depressing guy ever, Jay Cutler.
Listen,
the most unenthusiastic dude.
Jay Cutler had all the talent in the world. He just didn't have it up here. Jay Cutler had
It's very fair.
I think it's him.
I love his
commitment story.
Oh, I'm out on Mitch. I'm done with that. I dealt with it for 4 years. I can't do it anymore. I loved Mitch to death.
I think he's going to be good with the Steelers.
I hope he is, but I don't see it personally. But when it comes to Cutler, listen, the dude had a straight up cannon. He could get outside of the pocket and make some plays. He was smart
in more than one ways.
Well, he just he didn't always make the best decisions in the sense that he overestimated himself quite a bit because he had that cannon of an arm. So he thought, fuck it, somebody's going to get it if I just chuck it. Didn't happen. It's like what Matt Stafford had in Detroit, but worse. And he just didn't seem to have the want or the drive to really be an elite NFL quarterback. And at the end of oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I was just gonna say I think it's like the story of his commitment sums it up perfectly. Like, have you heard that story?
I'm heard so many fucking stories about it. I'm not sure which one specifically you're referring to, but there's like 30 of them.
Yeah, how apparently they were originally calling the high school about a tight end and they were confused, and then they were like, oh, you're Jay Cutler. Like, he was like, my name's Jay Cutler. I'm a quarterback, not a tight end. They go back, watch his film, call him back later that day, offer him, and he was like, I don't know. And his dad's like, you're going, and he's like, okay.
You mean committing to college? I thought you meant his commitment to the game. Okay, no, I hadn't heard that story. I had never heard that story.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say because there's about 30. There's about 30 stories about how he wasn't committed to football in terms of being in the NFL.
I'm saying that story shows how little he was committed.
Right.
He was just kind of whatever. I'll just go wherever.
Yeah.
But
because when he came back out of retirement for Miami, he went on record and said he was only doing it because he wanted the paycheck. Like, he had no fucking interest in playing.
Oh yeah.
His wife was like, "Listen, we need money. You're gonna go out there and play." And he's like, "Okay." And then, we've all seen that play where they ran the Wildcat and he just kind of stood there like this. Like, that's what the most Jay Cutler play
I think that was
ever.
Against the Saints. I think that was against the Saints, the London game that we won 20-0.
It was.
In London. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but it's so funny because Jay Cutler seems like such a good guy. I will say, for anyone who knows Jay Cutler very well,
he's like a good guy, but he's so unenthusiastic.
He's unenthusiastic. Well, I don't know. He's not unenthusiastic when you see him in his day to day. On the field, he was unenthusiastic.
True.
But
that's what I mean.
He got into social media during quarantine, and he lived out on a farm, or not necessarily a farm. It was more out in the woods, and he had chickens and stuff. And there was something getting into his chickens. So he would record videos of himself and put them on his Instagram story of him sitting out on his porch, hunting whatever it was. There's a picture of him where he's wearing night vision goggles and has a big cigar hanging out of his mouth. And it might be the most badass picture I've ever seen because his buddy gave him night vision goggles to hunt it. Yeah. Like, Jay Cutler, he seems like a good dude, but I was going to say, for anyone who knows Cutler very well, I don't agree with his politics, but, I like him as a guy. He's very much like he doesn't believe COVID's a thing and anti-mask and anti-vaccine and all that shit.
He's one of the he's one of those fun
unfortunately.
boys.
Him and Urlacher both
But-
ended up like that, which broke my heart, but it is what it is.
I do like Urlacher's new company he's working with, though. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen that.
He's working with this new trading card company that is doing a lot of like mobile stuff for
That's
like
cool.
the trading card community.
That's cool. I'll have to look into that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just saw Urlacher up at Tahoe playing golf. I went up to the
Nice.
celebrity golf tournament, the American Century. So
Mhm.
he's always up there. It's kind of cool to
Yeah.
see him play golf and shit. But I hate to be that guy, but I think we covered everything that we should have for the Saints offseason. But the one thing I do think we should do collectively, pull up the schedule and agree on all the
Just
games,
muster
wins
that,
and losses.
yeah.
Because you said you wanted to go over the record, right?
Yeah, but
And
before
then
we do that,
so we don't have three different like record predictions. I want us to come to a concise
I don't
one
know, I
between
kinda
the
like
three
it if
Saints
we-
fans.
oh, the three Saints fans.
Spreadsheet
okay.
already.
All right, I want to make
Okay,
one
spreadsheet
point real
already.
quick while you guys get that set up. You were talking about earlier, Leyten, about how a lot of Saints fans are like big on Troutman and big on shit.
We're not big on Troutman.
Not you
we
guys.
Are not big
No,
on.
we are.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we are not.
Okay,
We
well, I
were
got a
coming
story
in.
for
We
you in a
were
second.
coming in.
Okay, it's not Troutman. It's
Okay.
I was more referring to Peyton Turner. How there's people saying he's primed for a breakout season, and that's coming up. And I didn't mean you guys specifically. I meant
Yes.
Saints fans as a whole. I was more referring to
Yes.
the blanket.
Okay.
Because when I did that breakout series, every single episode, people would just comment like who they think would be a good breakout candidate, and I had so many Saints fans coming at my neck for taking Kmet over Troutman, and so many for taking Joseph Osai over Peyton Turner, to the point where I was like convinced for a split moment in time that they must be some sort of superstars, because I hadn't watched them up to that point. I hadn't done my research on them. And the way they were talking about them, you would have thought they were the next coming of like Lawrence Taylor and Tony Gonzalez. It was insane
I
to
hate
me.
when Saints fans still do that.
Yeah.
But that happens in every fan base.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
unfortunately.
it does. It
So
does.
who is it that you said? Who'd you say for us you thought was going to be breakout rather than Peyton Turner?
Werner. I love Pete Werner.
Oh, you said Pete Warren. That's not even bad. I thought you said someone else. I didn't even recognize the name at first when you were going over. I was like, I can't even remember. Well, I don't even know who that is. I'm like, that might be why, but never mind.
I know
I don't know why they
confused.
were slandering you on that.
Yeah, no, it was. I did it by position. I didn't do like one for each team. I did it by position. When I did tight end, I said Cole Kmet, who's the Bears tight end, and I got slandered because I picked him over Troutman. And then I did defensive end.
They can fuck off.
Right.
They can fuck off.
And then
you know how much I would give to have Cole Kmet on the team?
Oh, I love to hear that.
Seriously.
I love to hear
Literally.
that. Hold on one second.
Oh my god.
Oh god, he's breaking something out.
Shit. My headset.
Oh, he's breaking something out.
Is that what he's doing? Or he might be just doing something. Do you guys have the schedule out in front of you?
Yeah, I
So
do.
we
I
should-
had made
knock
my
out the
predictions
schedule.
already.
Yeah, we'll knock out the schedule together and see what we think for record-wise this year.
Yeah. All right, let me.
I just don't know if we wait for David to come back. Yeah, I'm just going to go right down the list, game by game. Yeah,
Okay.
game by game.
Okay.
Wow, guys. It will be
Oh,
a
yep,
month
I
away
told you.
from playoff football.
I
What?
told you.
He's
Cole
bringing
Kmet
up
jersey.
I had to
There
whip
you
it
go.
out.
There you
Listen, if
go.
you're gonna praise my boy,
Had
I
to
gotta
whip
wear
it
the
up.
jersey. He's my favorite player. I
Hey,
love Kmet.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it,
But,
man. Yeah, they have no reason to be defending
Yeah.
Troutman over that.
And then the
God,
other
no.
one, it was
No, they do not.
I put Joseph Osai for edge over Peyton Turner, and that was the other one I got a lot of shit
That's
for.
the right call, but that's the right call.
I
that's
realize
fine.
now,
I don't
yeah.
know why they can't even be mad. And like, I don't even know why they're even defending. Oh, but Peyton Turner, it's like, okay, you're a Saints fan. That's like the underground guy who got hurt. We drafted him first round, and we're all hoping that he has second year breakout. So we didn't waste a fucking first round pick last.
Oh wait, both of our starters are healthy, so he's going to be a bench warmer this season.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a stacked line, so it's like, why even bother?
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll get his playing time as soon as Marcus Davenport, jams his thumb and he's like, oh my god, I can't play anymore. I can't play for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I,
okay, so let's.
Fans literally made out of glass.
True.
Yes, I'm in Traquan Smith, glass
Yeah.
man.
So, okay, so the schedule. So week 1 we are at Atlanta.
At Atlanta, win.
Yes. Yeah,
Win.
easy W.
Win.
Easy
I'm
W.
not, I don't want to say easy
We
because
are-
it's always a rivalry, but bro,
we
the
are
Falcons
notoriously
are a
bad
bottom 5 team this
First
year.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's going to happen?
They
You're going to
have
have
the past
Mariota
couple
throwing to Kyle Pitts for the whole game?
No, they got
Or
Drake
that's their
London.
offense.
They got Drake London.
Or London.
Oh,
And,
that's right,
London.
Drake London.
Auden Tate.
The wrong receiver.
And what's the guy from the
Cordero Patterson.
Cordell Patterson, and then they got the guy from the Raiders too. Was it Zay Jones?
Uh,
No, it's the other one. Shit.
I don't remember.
We'll see what happens. But you know
I
what?
know who you're talking about.
So okay, well, we can all agree we'll get a win week 1. Week 2, oh my god. You know, you remember how you were talking about how that trend kind of is bound to break?
Brian Edwards, that's his name.
I am going to be the first one to say that, well, this is obvious, but like one trend is going to break this week, and it's either Tom Brady is going to finally be able to beat the Saints in the regular season, or the Saints are going to finally be able to win a game in week 2, because for whatever reason, every year now we walk out in week 2 and we play horrendous.
I say this is going to be a W for us. I think we're gonna break that trend simply because we're at home. If this was at Tampa Bay, I would say we would lose. I think that the Dome is enough for us to win this game. I think the city's going to be rejuvenated. I think that this team is something to be excited about, and I think Saints fans are going to be excited. And
oh my god! See, this is the problem though. Like, then that means that we're going to have us going like 3-0. We haven't went 3-0 in like 7 years.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I will say it. I'll say this right off the bat. I have us going. What is this? 5-0 at the beginning of the season on the list I made.
Oh my god!
But I have explanations for it. I have explanations. I wrote out my explanations for everything. So
I get it.
Our week 2 game against Tampa, Tom Brady only has Mike Evans. Gronk is gone. Chris Godwin's out with the ACL tear still. We're gonna lock Godwin, or we're gonna lock Evans. He has no.
That's
who's he gonna throw to? Miller?
Child.
Yeah, listen.
You literally.
No, we're locked.
Lattimore is fucking the dad of Mike Evans. We all know
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
we all know that. So
unless they start fighting,
I'll roll with you guys on this. I want to say it might be a loss just because the Saints never fail to shock me, and I always keep on trying to stay optimistic for the week 2 game. Years ago, it was we could never win in week 1 to start the season. Right. Then we broke that trend, and we started to win week 1, but then in week 2, we just dropped week 2.
There was the crossover period there, though. For I think it was 2 seasons, we went 0-2, and then we came back and made the playoffs.
That was 2017. 2017, we went 0 and we were like 0-2, and then bounced all the way back. Yeah,
I think it's more like we lose to the Falcons than we lose to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
God, I hate saying that.
All right, so then we are at Carolina, we're at Carolina for week 3. I say win. Simply because of what I said earlier when we were talking about the Baker situation. He's not going to be used to that offense yet. I think he's going to need some more time at that point. I know we're not all completely hot on Baker, but and I just think simply Jameis being in the offense for longer and Baker not being in the offense at all, we're going to come out with a W on that one.
Okay, fair. Yeah. God, man, looks bad for us right now. We got our Saints sitting at 3-0. No bias, promise.
Listen, I'm not a Saints fan. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I agree. I think you're going to start 3-0 as well.
Next game, we got Vikings and Saints. Now, here's the one that's always tricky. So everyone wants to talk about how
Minneapolis Miracle.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Pick your pick. Minneapolis Miracle, the wild card upset with Rudolph.
Or the PI,
Or you guys will say PI. I hate being that guy. I'll always argue our PI in the NFC Championship game, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't have even been there with the Vikings. We should have even been in OT with the Vikings. We underplayed the Vikings in the wild card game, and it was abysmal, and it was really disheartening. Granted, was there maybe a little bit of a push-off? Sure. Is it enough to call? I guess not. I'm not going to argue it. When I had to watch the PI the year before that kept us out of the Super Bowl, that was one I'll fight for.
I think it was just the trend. It's like, are you kidding me? There's
again,
right? For that one,
it was disheartening to see it happen again, and you're like, that was controversial. And it's almost like Saints fans were hoping they would get their freebie back from what happened.
But unfortunately, this is not hockey. Refs don't give out freebies. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then us Saints fans are going to say, on Christmas, we hung 52 on the Vikings, and the Vikings are very quick to go, that was against our practice squad defense. And I'm like, okay, cool. You guys are still a professional defense. So any Vikings fans watching this, you still gave up 6 touchdowns to a singular running back. You're an NFL defense. I don't care how many people you have that are on the practice squad. You still had some starters on that defense. If we're giving that guy the ball every time, I don't know. Figure it out. Do something about it.
And
you didn't.
And it's in England. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up. There's no home field advantage.
Yeah.
This game could go either way. I could see it going either way.
I have it down for a W.
6:30 in the morning to watch it.
I do have it down as a W, simply because the Vikings just don't excite me. Like, there's not Justin Jefferson, sure, Dalvin Cook, sure, but there's nothing else on that team that really excites me.
They got a whole bucket of mid at quarterback.
You still got
Prime time Kirk Cousins, is that what we're saying?
Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback. Okay, point blank period.
I've never seen Kirk Cousins play in London.
He's
Watch
not
him
a
be
bad
like a
quarterback.
god in London, even though he sucks in all the other prime times.
That would be the most Kirk Cousins thing in the world.
Would be, yeah, you're right.
That made me sick to my stomach when I saw that our wildcard game against them was in the morning. I'm like, this is the time slot that Kirk Cousins pulls shit out of his ass, and sure as shit, we get to watch the locker room. You like that? After losing in the playoffs, it's like, dude, no way. Why did you just give us the nighttime playoff game? We would have won easily. Kirk Cousins don't show up in prime time. Like I said, I want us to all kind of stay on the same page. We'll say it's a win. I'm really skeptical about the Bucs game and the Vikings game, but
yeah. Now you're starting to see though what I was saying about the going 5-0 at the beginning.
Yes, I do, because then we're definitely beating the Seahawks. And we better beat the Seahawks in New Orleans. They don't even have
Geno Smith's gonna
Drew Lock. It's gonna be Drew Lock. It should be Drew Lock.
And we all know Jimmy G's not going there.
Okay. Yeah, probably not.
If Jimmy G, in the wild, alternate reality, if Jimmy G gets traded to this, first of all, it wouldn't be a trade. They would cut him. But even if he was traded, everything I know about the NFL just goes out the window. Because how are you going to interdivisionally trade a quarterback that wins? He might not be the flashiest, he might not be the best, but he's proven that he can win in the postseason and that he can win if he has a team around him.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
How are you going to do that?
Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, you could.
He hadn't proven a damn thing.
It's happened before.
Listen, he's got the best offensive.
The Vikings.
He's got the best.
That wasn't a trade. Was it a trade?
No, it was a signing.
It was a signing.
No, it was
they wouldn't have traded Favre in division.
Never mind. Irrelevant.
Listen,
that was against Brett's own morals.
Jimmy Garoppolo, if we want to talk about quarterbacks that can win, do not put him in that conversation. He has been carried by the best offensive mind in football for the entirety of his time with the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo is what Kyle Shanahan makes him.
I agree to this. Jimmy Garoppolo.
We've seen what happens when it comes down to putting the game on Jimmy Garoppolo's shoulders. When he has to do something more than roll out, throw a short pass, hit a guy on a corner every here and there.
But what I will say is I'll take an overthrow over an underthrow any day.
Jimmy's got both in his arsenal, buddy. He's got both.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Listen.
So, okay,
let me put it this way.
We have the Saints at 5-0, right?
Yeah,
all of us?
Now, I will say before we move on to the next one,
we're losing the next 2 games.
2 games at very least. I might even say 3, maybe 4. Because look at this run. We have Cincinnati, Arizona, Las Vegas, Baltimore.
Oh my God.
That is a buzzsaw.
If we come out of that 2-2, oh my God, we're legit.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, we're so
we beat
legit.
Bengals and we beat the Raiders. We lose to Arizona.
Bengals.
And we lose to Baltimore.
What do you think? What do you think? Joey B just can't bring himself to carving up his former favorite team and freaking in the Superdome, where he carved up the Clemson Tide for a title. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think
we're losing to Joey. We're losing to the Cardinals because D-Hop comes back that game. Just so we're clear, D-Hop is back. We're the first game that D-Hop comes back from his suspension.
We're losing. I thought he had a 6 game. Does he have a 6 or 8 game?
8.
He's got a 6 game. He's got a 6 gamer.
I thought it was 8.
Yep.
No, that's not.
Nope, it's 6. So he's going to be the game that we come back on a Thursday night. A Thursday night in Arizona. It's warm, toasty October 20th, and we're losing in the desert.
Listen.
If I'm being honest with you.
Listen, let me give my 2 cents on this.
That looks like shh.
Oh my God.
That looks like shh. Yeah, I can't do it, bro. Can't do it. Okay.
I don't see the Saints losing to the Cardinals. I don't.
How not?
What?
The Cardinals are going to be
defense. That offense.
What offense? They've got Kyler, a mediocre offensive line, and D-Hop.
And one of the best receivers. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like outside of D-Hop, hold on, hear me out.
It's a rusty D-Hop.
Right, it's a rusted D-Hop. Hollywood Brown is their wide receiver too, and he fucking sucks.
That's true.
Rondale Moore looks promising, but he hasn't
Andy
done
Isabella
anything
is
yet.
still there.
Andy Isabella's nothing more than a speedster. He's not going to do a whole
Zach
lot for
Ertz
you.
is there.
Yeah,
Zach
but
Ertz,
you've got Demario Davis. He
he's
can
old. He's
erase
old.
Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
You tell Demario Davis,
I'm
you watch
worried.
that boy. He is erasing
I'm
him.
worried.
Okay,
I would not be.
You know what the concern is? I'll be completely honest with you, David. The New Orleans Saints will play short and fast out of the pocket quarterbacks, and they stink.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts
Fair.
has touched back-to-back years. We
Yeah,
just
wait
can't
for,
figure him
wait
out.
for week 17. Wait for week 17.
I'm telling you right now. I just see it letting Kyler run all over us. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. So how about
On a short
So
week,
if you want to do
Saints aren't gonna make
2 and 2, if you want to do 2 and 2, then why don't we say we beat Cincinnati and we beat Las Vegas, because those are
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
That's
think you're
fine
more
with
likely
me.
to beat Arizona than either of those teams.
we just have trouble with
That's very
fast
true.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we do.
their defense is
We do.
beat up. The rest of their offense is
I don't
bad.
think the Raiders.
The Raiders' defense might still be absolute shit.
Yeah. They did make
Abs-
additions, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Their D
So,
line's pretty good, but their secondary's dog.
They lost their best
I'm gonna
defensive
run-
player.
I think
He's
we
gone.
go 2 and 2.
We'll go 2 and 2, and we'll say we lose to Lamar running over us in the dome, and we lose to D-Hop coming back on a short week against Kyler Murray, who will probably have his way with our defense due to that. So we come out 2 and 2. So we're saying Saints are 7 and 2
Currently,
right now. 7 and 2. Oh my God!
beat
Are
the
we really
Steelers.
about to say 8 and 2? This is insane.
Who do they
We-
play
How do we
next?
lose to Pittsburgh?
We beat the
No
Steelers.
offense.
I know,
How do we
I
lose to
know.
Pittsburgh?
No. I'm not saying we don't. I have us beating Pittsburgh, but it's the fact that we have them at 8 and 2. If we're 8 and 2 by this point of the year, oh my God, I'm throwing an absolute rager, bro. No way.
Okay, now how do we feel about the Rams?
We're losing.
We lose.
We're gonna lose this
We
game.
lose.
We're gonna lose. As much as we hate the Rams because they took our spot that we should have had in the Super Bowl.
Took our
that
Brady
year.
Breeze Super Bowl.
Look, I'm telling you, they took our Brady Breeze Super Bowl where we would have been favored to beat that New England team. That was the worst New England team to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to change my mind. And as much as we hate them and as much as we're bitter about it, even though they didn't really do anything other than be little shits about winning
That
the game.
Super Bowl was boring.
It was
And
the
it was-
worst. It was
and
one of
be
the
a
worst Super
boring-
Bowls ever.
Yeah.
But we're not going to win this game. The Rams have somehow gotten better.
You know
as
what
the
I
defending
did?
Super Bowl champs over this offseason. We're losing this game, 8 and 3.
You know what I
8-3.
did when that Super Bowl was on? Rather than watching it, I watched the Saints Super Bowl, like a replay of that. Like my family was watching the Super Bowl in the
I
living room. I was
couldn't
in the
even
room
bring
watching a
myself to
replay.
do that. I couldn't. I couldn't do that to myself. Not a chance. Not a chance. I would
Okay.
have been even better.
So San Francisco, we're winning, right?
I'm hoping I can make it out to this game. Closest
I'd say
game
it's
to
the
me.
top.
I live in Nevada, so
Gotcha.
I will hopefully make the trip out to Levi's, which is like 3.5 hours from me. I hope if I go there that we would win this game, but again, the 49ers are tough. And
Toss-up.
How do we feel about
did.
Trey Lance, though?
that's what I was about to say. Their quarterback position. It's
It
all about
depends on him, yeah.
where he's
How
at.
Trey Lance plays.
He's absolutely sucking. We're going to get a win. If Trey Lance
Right.
is balling out, we are going to maybe
Because he
struggle.
falls under that
He's another
category
guy
again.
of getting
Fast
around, getting out of the pocket.
quarterback,
yeah.
Yep, he's another Kyler Murray. So if he's showing his signs of Kyler Murray, we're going to lose. If not, we're going to win. As of right now, the 49ers have been underwhelmed with Trey Lance, and if that's who they're rolling with, guess what? Let's go crazy right now.
Yeah.
Give us the win. 9 and 3.
Yeah.
We'll go 9 and 3. Even though they have a good defense,
That's my
that's still a
birthday
toss
day,
up.
too. So I want to.
Got to win on your birthday then. Got to win on Jason's birthday. I'm sorry. That's
Okay.
a win then.
Got to.
Okay,
Now-
Buccaneers. If we have us winning week 2, then it's going to have to break at some point.
That's why I said, yep. I said loss for this
9
one.
and 4.
Because
9 and
it's
4.
in Tampa Bay, and we
9 and
have
4.
a very late bye week this season. Think about it. We
Yep.
haven't hit our bye week yet, and it's
We
week
know.
14.
It's bad.
Nope, we have not. And then we do hit our bye week, and then we play the Falcons. And sometimes we come up.
I'm gonna
Do
give
we
it
sweep the
a
Falcons?
win.
We sweep
I
the Falcons? We
think
get it
we
done
have
this year?
We sweep. This year we sweep.
This year we
Yeah.
sweep. So we're
Yep.
sitting at 10 and 4
Yep.
after we. Wow, this would be an absolutely phenomenal season. Browns. Deshaun
Cleveland
Watson is playing
Brown.
in
We
Cleveland.
think.
We
I
lose.
already got my tickets lined up for this game.
We think. There still could
I
be a
say we lose.
curveball. There still could be a
If-
curveball.
if he's bro, Christmas Eve gonna break my goddamn heart, and they're gonna go to Cleveland, and I'm gonna get a lump of coal in my stocking if Deshaun Watson's playing.
Now,
and we're gonna lose.
my only thing is this: there could still be a curveball. He still could be. I know that they're saying 6 to 8 games, but there's still a possibility that he gets suspended for the full season.
Right,
And if
but
that's
I'm not
the case,
anticipating that. If that's the case, we win that game. If it's
Right.
not, then we lose. That's all that I care about. If Deshaun Watson's in,
I have us winning. I have us winning, but still.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we got to be respectful here. I say we have us at 10. I say we have us at 10-5 right now.
Okay, 10-5. I'll take it. I'll take a
10-5.
Yep.
Okay, we'll take the loss.
We're not going
then
to let what happened last year happen this year with the Eagles.
But the Eagles got so much better.
It's going to be either
though.
a closer game that we win or they win. But we're not going to let it.
I think it all depends.
Jalen Hurts.
I seriously think it all depends upon how Jalen Hurts progresses this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Again,
It's in Philadelphia.
For how much we've
We
struggled,
can say we lose.
I say we lose. I say we lose and win in Carolina. That's what I.
Yeah.
That's what I leave it at. I
don't know if
I
we can
can't
sweep
even give us the
Carolina
win in Philly. We're not going to win in Philly.
I don't know about Carolina.
We're winning one of the two games. We're not going 0-3 for the last 3 games. We're not.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what do we have us sitting at for the? Are we at 11-6?
Yeah,
that
I think
what?
so?
11-6.
We can say 11. For all this sports bettors, we're at 9.5 this year.
Yeah. If we're at 9.5, go throw the house on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw the house on Saints going over. I think we could get 10 wins. I think it'd be a little disappointing if we didn't find ourselves with 10 wins because again, we were 9-8 last year with a horrendous situation. Like I don't think people realize how bad the Saints situation was last year, and the fact that they came out with a winning record is absolutely amazing to me. And a lot of that credit does go to Sean Payton, which we do not have anymore.
Right.
But that
we still
situation that again, with what we have now compared to what we had last year, it's a tenfold upgrade. And with the offseason moves that we've made, I would say that 11-6 is a solid record prediction.
Yeah.
Do we win the division like that? No, the Saints are going to have to shock the world to win the division, and we're going to have to win a few of those games that we would not anticipate winning.
Right.
But as of right now, we're not going to be that high and mighty on it. I'm saying 11-6, and more than likely Tampa will still win the division by a game or two, is what I'd say.
Yeah. I don't know how
valid.
difficult Tampa's schedule is this year. But I agree with that. Yeah, at least second. I think we would maybe have a little bit easier time of winning the division than it sounded like you were expecting. But I think it all just because think about it. I don't think Tampa's gotten better this offseason. I think they've gotten worse. And
I
still think the trend's going to break. Like we're still going to lose to them once, but I think that our record will be good enough to beat them.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree on that. Like I said, I think it's all just going to come down to what we see, what unfolds. Just that's how it is for every NFL season.
Right.
As soon as the season starts to unfold, you start to get a feel of what things are really going to look like and what's going to happen. But as of right now, expectations are way higher than what we had heading into the offseason. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So I just 11-6 from the 3 Saints fans you've got on here. You've gotten an 11-6 record, and I would be thrilled to see that at the end of the year. So hopefully that's where we sit.
Yeah,
hopefully that is where we sit.
And I don't think that's too crazy of a prediction, honestly.
Where do we think sitting in?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, say that again.
What are we looking at for the playoffs? Like 5-6 seed then?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. I would say 5 or 6 seed, especially in this year's NFC conference. The NFC conference is weak.
Yeah, unless the 49ers were to finish ahead of you, I think it'd be the 5 seed in that situation.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think
Thank
that is
God
like
we're
the
the NFC,
ceiling.
not the AFC. I'll just say that.
If we were the AFC, I wouldn't even have us making the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not.
The amount of super teams they have over there is insane.
I agree.
Oh yeah. No. Hey, the AFC is way stronger this year.
Yeah.
But
that's so
I think
because it's never been that way. usually recently.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Recently, that's why it's definitely a change. It's a change, but
Yeah.
I still think that that's going to play a role in the playoffs, and I think that the AFC has to go through a gauntlet, and then the NFC is not going to have the biggest gauntlet to get to the Super Bowl, and they might have just that much more of an edge, not having to go through all those super teams to just pull out the Super Bowl. So don't get it twisted. I don't want anyone to think that whoever out of the AFC comes out to the Super Bowl is just going to win the Super Bowl and wipe with the NFC team. So I think that it could easily go. NFC has a lot more left in the tank rather than whoever makes it out of the dogfight that's going to happen in the AFC.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah,
valid.
I think we covered everything. I think that's pretty solid. We went for a long time, man. What are we looking at?
I think we went like 2 hours.
Yeah, go ahead. We almost did.
Well,
yeah, Jesus.
One thing I want to add.
Go for it.
How we came out of the cap room situation we were in at the beginning of this like off season, and the fact that we can just like claw ourselves out. And I'm pretty sure now I think we have like 600 or 6 million cap right now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
That's Mickey Loomis.
I'm not going to complain.
I was not literally about to say the same thing. It's like it's as simple as Mickey Loomis. Mickey
That's
Loomis
all you
is
have
like
to say.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voidable
Yeah.
years and signing bonuses and Mickey Loomis. That's all you got to believe in.
Yep. That's literally it.
Just players
Connor
taking
said it. Took the words out of my mouth.
like Demario Davis took a pay cut.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to see this team succeed. You know, you see players coming to the Saints all the time because we have just such a good culture, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. I would agree. I would agree to that, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. Back-to-back years, getting out of the fattest cap hole in the league.
Yep.
Leave it to Mickey Loomis. Leave it to Mickey Loomis. Negative 100 million 2 years ago. Negative 76 this year. He got it done.
I'll say this at the end here. I do believe that my father worships Mickey Loomis more than God himself. So just
Valid.
I respect. That is a respectful thing for him, man. Same here, honestly. Is that everything? I think we're good, guys. We can wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I just want to say, and I don't mean this as a disrespectful thing. I just don't know any other way to put it. This is the first podcast that we've done that I've done for these team previews where I had difficulty getting a word in, and that's not a bad thing. I don't mean that as a negative thing.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I don't mean that as a negative thing.
bad.
I don't mean that as a negative thing. I'm just saying you guys are incredibly passionate fans and have a lot to say about your team, which is going to be shown by the length of this episode. Like every other episode, I've had to pull my weight. Like at the end of the day, I'm hosting these things, right? Like the point of these is to have fans of teams come on and give their takes on the team. And obviously it's my channel. I'm going to give my takes as well. But I mean, I literally could have just sat here the whole time. And I mean, for the most part, I did just kind of sit here and let you guys do your thing. And again, I'm not complaining. Okay. That's not a complaint. That's not a negative thing. I just wanted to acknowledge how passionate you guys are. I respect it. I like it.
I'm glad because you know what? That's just that. That's the representation of the Saints fans, man.
Clearly.
That nation, it's like that, man. It is like that. Yeah. But I do hate that you didn't get a word in. I hate that it feels that way.
Listen,
if we ever do it again, another podcast talking about whatever, then you'll definitely get more words in, that's for sure.
Listen, I made the points I wanted to make.
If it's not Saints related, you'll be good.
I wanted to come on here and I wanted to praise Adam Prentice and Pete Werner, and I got to. So that was all I had in my bag of tricks.
Those are your two guys. Those are your two guys for the Saints. So you got your word in. You got your word in.
I've had a lot of the way I've been doing most of these is like obviously I've already done a decent bit of research, but I'm doing like the final touches, thinking about how I want to phrase things, how I want to say things, blah blah blah. At the very end, like the day of, and I had a really hectic day. I've had a really hectic couple days with like scheduling and video fucking up and all sorts of stuff. So I didn't get a chance to do that for this one. So going in, I was like, well, shit. I really, really hope I'm not going to be talking out of my ass on this one. So you guys kind of saved me with that. Out of all the episodes, it would have been like that. This is the perfect one.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to be real for a minute, you guys saved my ass here. I thank you for that.
Least we could do. Thank you for having us on there.
Absolutely.
And I hate to be so abrupt, but I do got to get out of here.
Okay. Yeah.
And, but it has been awesome talking about this with you guys. And I hope that this isn't the last time that we're doing a podcast whenever.
No,
I'd be willing to schedule another one talking about whatever it may be.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. I'll have to have you guys on again.
Yeah. I've loved the chemistry here. It's been great.
Yeah, Leyten, before you head out, if you want to plug your stuff, by all means, then once you go, I'll let the
Oh,
other two
I
guys
didn't
do
even
their
want to be
thing.
that guy. I didn't even
No,
want to be that
you're,
guy. I wasn't
you're
even going to take the free promotion. So I'm glad you let me in. But
yeah,
everyone who did watch this, thank you guys. If you want to, if you're a Saints fan, if you're not a Saints fan, I don't post all Saints stuff on my TikTok, but a lot of it is. Right here, you see it, WhoDatDewitt. Go give it a follow, man. I'd appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. It's been great. I've been real happy to be on here and just glad to have, or I'm glad that you had me.
yeah,
Excuse me.
absolutely.
So
Thank you for coming
thank you,
on, man. I
David.
appreciate it. Yep.
It was good talking with you guys too.
Yep.
Connor,
Good
Jason,
talk.
see you guys.
Yep.
So, yep.
All right,
Good night.
Connor, if you want to go, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to plug. I'll just go ahead and say give me a follow on Twitter. I do believe it's at ConnorASSASSIN5. That's my Twitter account. I post bullshit about footballs, F1, pretty much any sport that I'm watching at the time. But other than that, yeah, thank you for having us on. I really enjoyed it. I love having an opportunity to talk about sports with other people that are passionate,
Absolutely.
especially Saints fans. So.
Yep. Yeah. Again, thank you for coming on, Jason. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yep. Just go follow my TikTok, Jason16.
Yep. He cut out. It's Jason16 Allen. That's his TikTok username.
There you go. There you go.
I'll have links to everything in the description just to make it easier on you, because I know people are lazy and they don't feel like typing it out. So we'll have links in the description. But that is going to do it for probably the longest team preview we're going to have. If you would have told me going into this, it would have been the Saints, I would have been shocked. But clearly, I got 3 extremely passionate fans to come on here. So once again, thank you guys, and thanks to Leyten for coming on. It was a blast. It was a ton of fun. I learned a lot. That was the big thing with this one. Like I said, I didn't get a ton of words in, but I learned. I absorbed the information. So I really appreciate it. How do I want to end this? I suck at outros. I always fuck up my outros. I'm awful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments down below, how do you think the Saints are going to do? What players do you think are going to break out, disappoint, do whatever? Or, if you just want to go down there and simp for Pete Werner, that would be great too. I know that's what I'll be doing. But yeah, just make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're pushing for 250 subscribers by the start of the NFL season.